It's too early, but that's okay. My gym workout was phenomenal. Before I went home, I decided to stop over at my mother's house. I haven't seen my mother in 2 months. I know she's going to be very surprised to see me. I can't wait. What the? I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The first thing I noticed was this person's skin. What is going on? Uncomplicated, untreated skin? Who is this guy? I had to take a step back, but then I realized it was my brother. But look at his skin. Have you guys ever seen anything like that? I had to take a closer look and figure out what was going on. Best believe I crept up on him. Peep this. I'm still looking at his skin, trying to figure out how did we get here. I could do nothing but shake my head. He could definitely use my help. I had to get to the bottom of this. He definitely needed some game about his skin. I'm just staring at it, like looking at it. Come on, bro. I knew what to do. I had to reach in my bag and get that Tej Hanley. Uncomplicated skincare for men. Bro, this is why I'm excited to have Tej Hanley as a sponsor of today's video. They have helped me start and maintain my skincare routine by making the entire process uncomplicated. Honestly, it's the best skincare system for guys like you and me. I recommend you start with their level 1 system, which comes with all the basics. A daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and the grime on your skin, a 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells, an AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun, and a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. My brother was so excited. My favorite part about Tej Hanley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really make the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin easy. Shout out to Tej Hanley. And because Tej Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers a great deal. Just click the first link in the description, and not only will you get Tej Hanley for the best possible price, but they'll also give you a free gift with your first box. Click that link and get started today for just $30. Feel the Tej. Let the Tej force be with you. Going on, family? Welcome to Lapeef Sports on the Lapeef Network. Introduce the crew. We got Jamie, we got Amber, Sway, Hink, Avon, and me myself. I'm Lapeef JR. I'll be on camera. What's going on, family? How y'all doing?
Good morning, man.
Happy Sunday, people.
How you feeling? I'm feeling good. How's everybody feeling?
Gotta get the crust out my eyes.
Oh man,
right on,
man.
Right on.
Yeah, man.
Happy got a long day, man. Sway. Well, you good?
Yeah, I'll change it after this show. I ain't about to change right now. That's too early. I'm tired.
I understand.
Yeah, I hear that. But I was glad to see you guys. I got some lovely ladies surrounding me, so I always appreciate that.
I know that's right.
I know it's a little delayed, but I'm a little off, man. It's too early, like Sway say. It's too early. Well, appreciate y'all. Shout out to the sponsor, Teach Hanley. Make sure you guys get them likes up. Also, subscribe to the channel. Just in case you guys don't know, we are live in Houston, April 23rd. Crew season to be there. Poor Man's Podcast. A host of other people will be there, man. So make sure you guys tap in, man. Get the opportunity to see us in person and become a part of history, man. It's the first one. So first time we'll be all together. The church say amen. It is Sunday, right?
Amen.
Right on.
Hallelujah.
Oh, okay. Sway, you must be Catholic, Sway.
No,
I think Christians say hallelujah too, right? Hallelujah.
I'm Anglo-Saxon.
Oh, okay, I get it. Nevertheless, shout out to the new member. Just saying, you brother, you did it early, man. Shout out to the new member, Mr. Franklin. Appreciate you, sir. Welcome to the Green Gang. You know we always appreciate y'all. Shantae, I see you in the chat as well. You said the title is correct. For the people that's watching for the first time, let me just lay it out. I understand that you guys like to talk about relationships and everything outside of sports. Sports was a different flavor. So we're going to build up to the main topic. We'll probably touch a little bit of what's going on in the sports world that's making headlines, briefly brush over that, and then we'll get into the meat of the conversation. So just be patient. I know sometimes people come to the chat and like, I thought we were talking about this. No worries. We're going to get to it. We're going to slow burn this one. All right. Church say amen.
Amen.
Man, I don't know where the energy at, man. I might have to say a prayer or something like that, man. I might have to do my own.
Amen.
Effort. Let me go ahead and just everybody bow their heads for a second real quick. I know this is off the script. Lord Heavenly Father Jesus, we appreciate everybody that's tuning in today. I appreciate the panel. If it wasn't for you, we would not be here today. So we just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
And let's have a great show. Y'all didn't let me finish. I could have probably had another 2 or 6 more bars. It's okay, man. Let me go ahead and speed to it. You hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's move in right to the first topic, y'all. First topic. We're going to talk about Miss Grinder. Miss Grinder is still over there in Russia, which is unfortunate. Looks like she had got a legal team or something like that. She's been talking with the people over there. I guess she didn't really have a choice. I'm just wondering if she's going to ever give back. Let's briefly discuss this real quick. What are you guys' thoughts about it?
My girl was listening on the question, and she told me that they're thinking about getting her back in May. I don't know if there's any validity to that statement or what. I think she said she saw it on Snapchat or something in a story, but that's what I got. I don't really know anything else. Then she's still detained. Other than that, no, I don't have any thoughts.
Yeah. What about you, Hink?
Man, look, I don't have no sympathy for her. None at all. You can't go to a foreign country, and expect some leniency just because you play ball. You can't expect that, and not at all. I mean, especially when they got the laws about drugs and all of that. Yet, you slide for how many other times you may have. I guess the past 2 years you've been coming through probably with your little favorite pen. They probably been saying, but now that it's come to the situation where they at now, they trying to use all things of leverage, and you're just part of it. You're a victim of circumstance. So now you just gotta do your time, I guess. Whatever they choose to do, they're gonna do. If they're gonna negotiate for you or bargain for you or turn you over, that's what they're gonna do. But you're gonna be a negotiating tool. So just get ready. I'm sure her lawyer probably said that, and she's not liking it, but that's the reality.
Yeah.
Man, look, I think the thing that's been making my hair fall out and my skin crawl the last couple of weeks with this nonsense is that everybody's like, why is no one paying attention to this? Why haven't they brought us home? I was like, there's a whole ass war going on, people. There's a whole ass war that is going on with Russia. And at this point, she's a bargaining chip. She's not a very good bargaining chip with Dave Chappelle. Black folks don't make good hostages, bro. You know what I'm saying? They do not care, bro. And people have to, number one, this is what, like I said, what do you want them to do? Do you want them to send SEAL Team 6 over and snatch her up out the jail? This is not Hollywood. It don't work like that. You want them to sneak her out the country? She's 6'8". She's a 6'8" chick. They might notice her missing, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's like this idea that somehow the government, or because she's black or she's a woman, that, you know, we haven't done anything. There's plenty of Americans trapped in Russia right now. This is just the only one you know because she's 6'8". That's it. So my thing is also Americans have to have an understanding, and I think this comes from a place of entitlement. Everybody's like, oh, she just took a vape pen. It's not that serious. It's like, you're not in America. There are about 5 to 7 countries. You can probably go down. You go to Cuba, you can go to Venezuela, you can go to Iran, you can go to Russia, China. Those are 6 or 7 countries that when you travel to those countries, you have to be aware of the fact that these countries have acrimonious relationships with the United States. And when you step into those countries, you are now a bargaining chip if they so decide to use you that way. She knew the risk, and she went over there on some hardhead stuff, because here she probably is allowed to get on planes and move around and do how she wants to move. And if somebody questions her, well, I'm Britney Grinder, or I'm this or I'm that. It don't work like that in other countries. They don't know you. They don't care. You step out into the world, especially in countries that have a problem with America. It is you. Hey, good luck to you.
Yeah. What's your thoughts about it, Jamie? I know you kind of catching news of this real quick about that WNBA playing man over there.
I've seen in the past, and I agree with the men. Like, it's unfortunate, but you should have known better, or at least her teammates, someone should have held her accountable before experiencing this. So I agree with them holistically.
Yeah. You want to know what's crazy is that with everything that's going on, I'm wondering if we should even be going out the country. I mean, certain places. It just kind of makes you think, because I would hate to things to get worse, and you're one of those people that's not really aware of what's going on around the world, and then you get caught in some mishap. Because I think I seen some people going over to Africa, and I knew it was some things that was going on. I forget which part. Was it Nigeria, or was it somewhere else?
I think it was Kenya.
Yeah, it was some things going on, but people are still traveling, and sometimes I think that when you are not aware, or just at least keeping up with the bare minimum, that we might be in the middle of a damn war, get stranded, or they may shut the airports down, no in and out of traffic, and you stuck over there. So I think this might be a wake-up call for people to just pay attention, man. Pay attention to what's going on in the world, because it does affect us. I understand you just want to worry about like what's happening on St. Patty Day, like what parties is popping, who boat we gonna be on this summer. But it's a lot of other things that's happening that we need to be aware of. But go ahead, Amber.
People out here stealing gas, man. Beware of you in
Me
Texas,
too.
bro. Houston, they out there stealing gas. I think over 1,000 gallons so far in Houston. You better be wary.
Yeah.
And I'm always big on educating yourself, or explaining people to do that before they travel anywhere, whether it be in another state. There are different laws where no matter where you travel. But before you go, like you said, be aware. To be aware is to be alive. So you need to know where you're going. And I think she knew. I don't think that this was like a surprise. I mean, I haven't read too much about the story, but I don't think it caught her off guard or anything. Like you said, I think she probably got, she was able to go back and forth before. So she just, got away with it before. And now she got caught. So just about educating yourself.
What you got on it, Amber?
I mean, I think I said this last week. She knew, she had to know what their operations was, what their laws were, what their restriction was. I believe she has gotten away with it, or gotten a pass so many times, because I think she's been playing ball over there for a couple more than what? How many years? Four
A
or
few
five
years,
few
yeah.
years. So she
Yeah.
knows. And what Homeboy said last time, she got caught on the wrong side of history. So I wasn't surprised when they extended her detention to May 6th, because we all kind of predicted she's going to be in there for at least 6 months. I mean, just like Jamie said, like, I know, and you got to understand their culture, their customs. Even as a woman, when you're traveling to a different country, us women can't do what we want to do. We can't dress the way we want to dress. You know, there's certain things where you can't walk into somebody's home in Japan with shoes on. You have to educate yourself about their customs, about their laws, what you can and cannot do. Because the worst thing you want to do is get caught up and be in jail in another country.
Yeah, I agree, man.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
definitely.
Hank.
I
Sorry.
mean, I'm sorry. Me and my son, he's gonna be playing ball over in Puerto Rico. He's get opportunity to play with his team over in Puerto Rico this summer in July. Even there, I mean, I don't need a passport to get in. It's part of, connected with America, but at the same time, I still got to know what's going on when I go there. Just on GP. I mean, like I said last week, I know the gun laws in almost every state that I've been to, and the ones that I was unaware, I was made aware real fast. But you have to know these things, man, before you go. I don't care if you in state or out of the country. You need to know.
I was talking to one of my guys. He's Middle Eastern, and he was just telling me some of the things that go over. Like, if you're an outsider coming in, like, you can't date or even attempt to even talk to certain groups of women, because if you do, they can lock you up. You can't be caught. I think somebody told me up in Mexico that you can't be caught out at night past a certain time or something like that. I don't know, just walking. Like, if you were to leave a party or something like that, then you need to either, like, try to catch a taxi, because if you caught walking, then they can lock you up.
Well,
Um, Go ahead.
I know in Belize, and I remember Amber, I seen you talking about you trying to go there. After 10 o'clock, you got to be back it's the plantation, uh, the area you're supposed to be in. You
Resort, the
have to,
The
resort.
resort.
yeah, the resort about 10 p.m. their time. So, I mean, these are the rules that they have. You have to abide by the rules of the country. You have to. Now, of course, I didn't know that until I got there. That's when they let it be known. This is what it is. And then they said it was due to COVID restrictions. I think it was other things going on, but that's the rules they told me. So
Look,
these are
man.
one of the things you got to be aware of. So
Hey, another thing that I kind of took away from this is that it took me back to my old CPS days, my school days. And I don't know if this happened specifically to her, but I could see it happening because of her age. There is an attitude sometimes with a lot of young people these days where it's like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, regardless of what the rules say. And somebody's going to get me out of it because she thinks she's morally right. She thought she was morally right, and she thought she was circumstantially right. Well, it's just weed. You see this all the time with young people who make bad mistakes. Well, it was just this, or it was. Why does it matter so much? And I'm just going to do it anyway. Consequences be damned, and then you want to be a victim when those consequences show up to your front door. Man, we've got to break a lot of people of this. It's in our community. We have a lot of people in our community who move like this. They run the red light, and then when the police pull them over, with the Glock, the stolen Glock under the car seat is, oh well, free the guys. Now sit your ass right there in that jail where you're supposed to be, because you decided to go out there and break a law that you thought that wasn't either important or didn't apply to you. And then you want to come back to the community and look for sympathy when you knew you was wrong in the first place. I'm over it with that mentality, man.
Yeah, it's kind of an unfortunate event. So hopefully she gets back. I guess the moral, something we could take away from this story, just make sure that we are aware of the laws and rules put in place. I mean, even statewide, I know on the JB Broken Dusty show, even the conversation I had with JB, you just want to, if you have a concealed carry and you're able to carry in multiple states, you just want to be aware of what that entails in that particular state that you riding through, or even if you're flying with your concealed carry over into it, you just got to be aware. You just got to understand that when you go to the airport, you don't go through TSA. You know, it's a process you need to do before you even make it there, because it's no, well, I have the credentials or something like that. Some things you just got to understand on the front end. If you don't know or if you're unsure, then ask questions. Find a way to become aware. Guys, just tuning in. Welcome to Lapeef Sports. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Also subscribe to the channel. Appreciate all the constant support. Kyle, I see you. Kyle was unable to make it today. You know, he had some work done in the mouth, so that's understandable. But we shall see him next week. So appreciate you what you're doing, brother. He did let me know he's going to be in the chat, and I do see him. So shout out to Kyle. And then we'll see you back next week, brother. Get well. Moving on to our next topic. And again, if you're tuning in, we are going to get to the meat of the conversation, which you guys see on the thumbnail, about women love a man's success. I'm looking forward to having that discussion. So make sure you guys wake up, get the crust out your eyes, because that's going to be a good conversation. Church say amen.
Amen.
All right.
Amen.
Right
So
on.
you guys know we about having those tough conversations on the Lapeef Network. And one of the things that's come up is Leah Thompson's success as a transgender swimmer. We're always going to have a respectful conversation. You know, I think it's important because it's our perspectives, man. We're entitled to think what we want to think and feel how we want to feel, as long as we're having a respectful conversation. So this conversation that we're going to break apart a little bit. Don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. Leah Thompson is a transgender swimmer. So she was born a male and she's competing. Me personally, I don't think it's fair. I think it's an unfair advantage. And I can't even imagine what the other swimmers may be thinking. So let's talk about it real quick, man. Do you guys think it's fair? What are your guys' thoughts about it?
So why can't they have a transgender just, why they can't just compete with each other? Like, why mix them? Like, that's the part I don't understand. Like, I guess that's what I'm trying to understand about the whole situation, is why can't they just have a third category just to make it fair?
I think that's a good question to ask, but then I think it takes away from them possibly maybe feeling like they want to
equal.
Yeah.
Your body makeup is your body makeup. It's nothing. Like I tell women all the time, I can't beat a man. It's nothing that I can do. You know how women try to fight men. I can't. I don't care how big they are, or little. You can't beat a man. A man's makeup, his body is built differently. No matter how no matter how they look. Like you said, they want to look equal or they want to feel equal, but still, their makeup is different, totally different from ours.
All right. Hey, Hank, I see you shaking your head, brother. I know you have a lot.
Man, look here, man. Man, today is a bad day for sympathy from Heek, man. You ain't getting no sympathy from me today. So we're gonna say this, man. Hell no. I mean, I read something about it. First, he competed as a man in NCAA. Then he turned around and competed as a woman. Come on, man. This is some bullshit, man.
Hey,
This shouldn't be allowed. This should not be allowed at all. I understand you identify as what you are, and that's cool. But when you cross over to the level now, you're trying to compete against other individuals that you was not naturally born at. You still have those tendencies of a man. You still have that strength as a man. Ain't enough estrogen shots in the world gonna take all that testosterone you get up in your way. Come on, man. This is some bullshit. They need to stop this.
That's bullshit.
For sure. And I know in Kentucky, man, they trying to pass this law, man, and they had it. And the bad thing about it, they get these little girls who are crying, and then you start to feel bad for them. Like some type of sense, they put it on. Well, I don't feel like it's fair for us to not be able to compete. How you think the other girls who you're competing against? How you think they feel? It ain't fair to you, but it ain't fair to them. They was what they was. They what they are. But now something you done crossed over like Allen Iverson, and now you ready to compete and take all the trophies? Hell no. It's some bullshit. No sympathy for me, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think one of the things is understanding like the reality on both sides as we discuss, how it affects other people. Because sometimes when new things come out, new movements, and it's like the push is just strictly just for whatever's happening, something new. Let's push it. If you, how about maybe if you want to have a league where people can cross over, then have that, but also give I don't even want to see. I feel like I'm about to be ready to go too deep. Go on here, Ava.
So my thing with
Cancel
this,
culture is real.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, well, tread lightly, bro. Tread lightly. You know how we
Can I
roll.
go? Actually, I'll go last.
So the thing that when I first looked into this, man, I saw the picture. Did you see the picture of them on the medal stand and see how much dramatically bigger? Yeah. Look how much bigger he is than his competitors, bro. Like this is crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like life imitating art. It's real life Juana Man. It's crazy. This is literally all that it is. He was the 468th, I think, ranked swimmer in college. Now he's winning national championships. He just wanted to win. He wanted to win regardless. This is what it comes. A lot of people are
Nice
confused
way.
about their gender roles or their who they are. But when you exploit that to move ahead in society or move ahead in competitive environments, that's where we got to draw the line. Now we're gonna have this sets, and it's dangerous because it sets a precedent. Now you're gonna have people, guys, who are back of the rotation guys, 6'5" playing against women in the NCAA basketball. So I'm telling you, what's going to happen within the next couple of years. You're gonna have a man out there with some weave coming out of his head, out there posting up chicks. I'm telling you, what's going to happen. But at there has to be a point where we have to draw a line. And as a society, we're not comfortable doing that right now because it'll get you canceled. It'll get you, isolated in society or whatever. But at a certain point, we as the silent majority, as they used to call us back in the day, have to be like, look, it's okay that you are who you are. We want you to feel comfortable. We want you to be okay. But there are red lines here. We're not going to do that. But we've created an environment now where you can't say anything or you're going to get canceled. So this is the results of what we're going to get.
Just for the sake of having the conversation, when I heard about this, it made me think about how I think certain boxers, like you have to be a certain weight, right? Like before you fight. So it's kind of making the advantage fair, making sure you guys in the same weight class. And also think about like steroids and so forth. When people have these enhancement drugs, when it comes to competing, that gives them the advantage. And so even though it's not outside substance, but even when you compare it to boxing, like you kind of want it to be a little bit fair than that way, because some people are just naturally stronger, like they're just going to be stronger, but you can't really see and tell. But when you look at that picture that Sway just showed up and the picture that everybody's seen, it looks like there's a clear advantage. Even if you think about the strokes, and I'm not a swimmer, right? But I'm just thinking about how that 6'4", that wingspan has to have some type of like difference maker when it comes to you hopping in the water. So it's just that's just something that I was kind of thinking about. But go ahead, anybody else want to chime in?
Yeah, I'm torn, and let me explain you why. Let me first say I'm not a feminist. I'm not a womanist. I do not believe men and women are equal or different. Genetically, men are just much stronger than women. It is what it is. I have always just been a firm believer, like men compete with men, women compete with women. Why I'm torn is actually a couple months ago, I had a not-for-profit organization hire me to cover their organization, and it's called Gender Cool. They advocate for families of teenage transgender kids. Every couple months, they fly in about 10 to 12 families from all over the country. They get together and have this 3 or 4 day event where the kids get together. The parents can talk about stories. These kids are cutters, self-mutilators, depression, anxiety, because these kids, identify as a different either gender or binary, and they're going through a lot of stuff just being normal kids in the society. So they get them together so they can be normal, so they can play sports and stuff like that. So they had Nike come and do a documentary, and I was documenting with my camera. And when I got to know these kids, I didn't see transgender kids. I saw kids. And I guess the mother in me came out, because when they were playing basketball, just strangers were standing by, kind of heckling them. And the mama bear came out of me. Like, I was ready to fight them, because these are kids, these are babies. I didn't see transgender. However, these transgender teenagers are going to be transgender adults that want to compete, that want to join. So where is that line? I even said there is a line. Where is that line where you want to just humanize them? They're humans. However, there is an advantage. Like, there's just a man who's going to compete with me is going to naturally win. And I don't believe it's fair. So how do you become inclusive with that? While also maybe, like you said, JR, there has to be a weight critique to compete or something like that. So that's why I'm torn based on my recent experience.
I want to ask you guys this. So if she wasn't 6'4" and looked to have a clear advantage, would you guys think it'd be a little bit more fair?
No.
Still,
even at the same height and weight, there's this muscle mass. I'm 240 right now. A 240-pound man and a 240-pound woman still are dramatically different in the amount of strength they have because of muscle mass. And Amber said, well, where's the line? I think let's walk that back. I think those people who are trans have to, on some levels, accept that you're born a way, but you don't want to be a certain way, and that's fine. We're fine. Most normal, empathetic human beings say, "Bruh, you want to walk around with a dress on? Do you? Do not care. Not my monkey. Not my cool." But when you want to use your trans status as a stepping stone to success, to bypass other people, that's where the red line has to be, when you're using it as an advantage. It's a difference between equal rights and special rights. And that's what they want, is special rights. And that's my line, where where you're going to use your trans status as an advantage to move ahead in society or in competition. That is my red line.
But isn't it because he lost competing with men, then all of a sudden he identified as a woman and then he literally made history competing in the women's Olympics?
Funny how that happens.
Let's just say so.
You suddenly identify as a woman when you're ranked 468.
I want to actually go ahead, Hank. I see you.
Bullshit, man. Can I say something too?
Go ahead, Sway.
I'm all about the facts. I'm all about the data. And I watched that race, and this chick won by at least 2 laps ahead than the second chick. And she came in at around 45 seconds after she already finished. 45 seconds. This woman is 6'4", or however tall she is, and she was still ranked 462nd with the men. I don't know how this just goes unnoticed. I don't know how nobody checks, or I don't know how nobody regulates this. I mean, there's more regulation in AAU basketball, and all y'all know it ain't that much. But this is crazy. I wouldn't be shocked. Like, I don't know if y'all watched any of the articles or the news about it, but there was she's in this. There's only 16 spots. That means she's taking another girl's spot, right? Biologically born woman. And there was a woman who came in 17th, and that was her last meet at Virginia Tech. She was a senior. That was it. She took her spot. I mean, it is what it is, but I think it's just crazy how we allow certain things like this, and we just have to be okay with it. We can't say nothing about it, or we'll get canceled, or they'll shame us until or blue in the face. It's just a little annoying at this point. But I think we'll see change. I don't know if they'll have a transgender league. I think maybe they should, and then have it where maybe the women transition to men, get a little bit of a higher testosterone boost, and then try to bring the men's down lower to like around an equal level. I would say a range, but have the women to men higher than the men to women. Something like that. I have no idea how they would do that, but they definitely need to have a change. They just can't have these 6'4" dudes running through these sports, because they know damn well the women to men is not coming over to the men's sports, about to do nothing to us, any of our sports. It's not going to happen. Sorry. You just won't win.
So the solution is specifically for men who transition to trans women to stay in men's sports, even though they did identify as women.
Shoot. I mean, sure. I don't know. I don't think it's to go with the women, though. Listen, I don't like comparing them to the Special Olympics, but you definitely need your own category. You can't be thinking like this isn't fair. You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying. It's like because it's like I'm not saying they're equally like quote unquote disabled, but it's just the unfairness to compete against one or the other it's no fairness at all. It's like when you're breaking records, shattering people's face in MMA. Like this is not the only sport. It's cycling, MMA, swimming. How many more sports are they going to come into where I wouldn't be surprised to see tennis, a 6'3" tennis star just smacking that hoe at 45 miles an hour. Like I don't know how fast it really goes, but I'm sure, this is just ridiculous. So how far are we willing to go? I don't know, but I'm not going to be, on the side to say this is cool. If I have a daughter one day, I don't want her going against, some male in high school.
I was just going to ask those who have daughters, what if she wanted to play with men? You every now and then you see,
all the time.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I was going I was going to ask that same question, and I want the men to honestly answer this, because we watch basketball and we do see some women that are just like, man, I know she'll probably kill in the NBA. Would you guys? I think you shaking your head already, but be asked. Have you ever came across your head? I wouldn't mind see her play against Chris Paul. I wouldn't mind see her going against Kyrie. Never. Avon. I see Avon being honest. Go ahead, Avon.
No, so the reason I'm being honest is because I go to Export to hoop once or twice a week, and there's a couple of girls in there that I don't like being switched off on defense, bro, because they're better than me, and I don't like that happening very frequently. I play co-ed football, bro. I play co-ed flag football, and there's chicks out there I do not want to be one-on-one with, bro. I don't want it. I don't want it.
Damn, so, they just that dope like that?
Bro, it's a league of former D1 basketball and track chicks, man. There's chicks out there that'll have you out there dancing, bro, like for real. So, but it with the whole women, yes, I would like to. Everybody, speaking of Britney Grinder, they was like they should put Britney Grinder in the NBA, see how she would fare. She would fare poorly. She has poor foot speed. She's not laterally quick enough. She's not, and she doesn't have the vertical leap to do it. But I'm not opposed to that, because that's stepping up in weight class. If somebody wants to step up in competition and try to see if they can compete, this isn't about, for me, it isn't about men and women. It's about the level of competition. If a woman wanted to swim with the guys and see if she could compete, do you, girl? You know what I'm saying? Good luck to you. But we know damn well that a man, when dropped into a female sporting environment, would be dominant. You know what I mean? If I was playing in a flag football league full of random chicks, I would be the best dude out there, probably. I'm gonna say definitely, but probably. So my problem is I think most people's problem is that it's the competition. When you have a blatant advantage because of genetics and you want to compete against lower competition, I think that's what most people see the problem.
Avon, you gotta admit, bro, there are literally 14 to 16-year-old boys who will smack some of these WNBA teams.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I was in ninth grade playing against a senior varsity women's basketball team, like basically a bunch of seniors and juniors. We would still smack them. They were good. They were running up. Like when we were JV, like they would play us. We still smack them. It's like they were. I think they were going to states almost every year for. Like they weren't bad. They were really good. They had a couple of D1 athletes, but we were still smacking them. So like to say that, I don't understand why this is so hard to understand.
It's not hard to understand.
Why do we even have this conversation? Why can't you just be like, no?
You're going. Hey, Sway. Hey, Sway. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest, man. Avon made a good point that I never even looked at it from. I looked at it from the competition side, but it does seem a little weird because they're going down in competition, not up in competition. So I mean, that's a point. That's a new point I never heard. I'm not saying I'm for it, but he has a point. So if you ever do want to make this argument so that you don't get canceled, that might be the argument to make. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's not that I don't like it. It's just the fact that if she went up in competition, then it'd be a different type of conversation. But the fact that she went down in conversation, that's what I can't really rock with.
Everybody is just looking for fairness, right? If you're a parent and your kid plays Pop Warner football and he's in 4th grade and he weighs 70 pounds and somebody bring a big ass 8th grade 200-pound kid out there, you're not going to be cool with that. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be okay with that. What we're okay with is if my son is in 5th grade and he's crossing everybody up at his level, they play kids up all the time at AAU. You know what I mean? If the kid, like, for instance, I seen a video on YouTube. I think it was Ball of Life is Life or whatever, of course, because they always promote trash. Is that they had some kid that was like a 7th grader, but he was like 6'7". And he's the dopest 7th grader in America. I'm like, he playing against 5'2" kids, bro. Like, he better be out there dominating people. And he's 6'7" in 8th grade. So it's this idea of we want the level of we want the baseline to be fair.
But what is fairness? Like, prime example, my kid. My kid is big, 13, 5'7", 5'8", 220 pounds, size 13 shoe. So if he wanted to play a sport amongst his age, and because he's bigger, does he need to go up? Like, I guess I don't understand what this fairness is.
That's a safety issue. That's a safety issue in football. You know what I mean? Like, if your son is that size in 8th grade and he's playing against other 8th graders who are 110 pounds, that's a safety issue.
Honestly,
but
there's really no problem.
I mean, I don't know. In the state of Kentucky, they have a limit, a weight limit as far as a guy could run the ball. So your son could never run the ball. Not in middle school football, he could, because I think it's like 125 pounds or less from the running. So he'll never run the football unless somebody fumbles and he picks up, he goes. Other than that, he won't touch the ball unless he's a center and he's hiking it. But no, I mean, but any other position he could play. But I look at it like this. If they want to get their own thing, have the whole LGBT community, whether they're homosexuals, transgender, whatever the case may be, have their own league, and they could compete against each other. Man and woman compete against each other. That's how they used to do in elementary. In Kentucky, elementary was the last time you could have co-ed. Once they got to middle school, it was girls' team and it was boys' teams. So if they want to do it that way, let them do it that way. But as far as how this is going and him taking spots, I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all.
And to Amber's point about her child, if your child is naturally God-given gift, he's a gift. It is actually more beneficial to move them up, because even my team, my coach in AU, we weren't playing against my grade because we had 6'4", 6'5", in 8th grade, 6'6", 6'7". So we were always playing against 9th, 10th, 11th graders. Motherfuckers coming with tattoos from New York. Like, we're getting smacked by 50, but we had to play them because that was just to make us better. So if your son can play up in a weight class, they more beneficial to him, actually might be more beneficial to him than him staying around these little kids. Like, it won't really do him anything. He's just running through them. It's nothing. If he's big enough to take a hit from, some older cats, that, he will definitely work his way in a lot faster. Just the only thing is worry about his eligibility for high school level. He only gets 4 years. He can practice, but not play, whatever the case may be. So just understand that as well.
So I guess, and the reason I brought that up, kind of tying into what JR said, is going back to transgenders competing with non-transgenders. Should it be, to be fair and to be all inclusive, should it be compared on height and weight then? So if you compare, say for example, the homie that was swimming, he's like 6'4". If he was competing with women who were also 6'4" at the same weight, would it then be fair if we base it on those requirements?
I don't think so. I mean, because it's gonna be hard to find a lot of women that same height and weight as him and be able to compete on the. I doubt it.
Okay.
To me,
based off, yeah, I was gonna say based off what the gentleman, I think, is just the idea of women. You laughing this way?
No, Rich Dad is asking me what do I claim? He's asking me some 2K related bills. I'm just laughing.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Nah,
Young cat.
Yeah. Now, what I was gonna say is that I don't think it had nothing to do with the. Well, I think that we're making that argument only because we noticed the difference. But when we go to sports events and we just see somebody that's just like 7 foot and they a sophomore, it's like, damn, like homie's big. Like we never think that he should be. Well, we probably say he should be in the NBA, but we know he can't because he's only a sophomore. But I don't think that people are canceling him out as much as we're canceling the idea of seeing a man compete in a woman's space. So I don't think it has nothing to do with it. I just think that we're just trying to figure out how is this possible and why is it happening. So we just all over the place with it. That's the reality of it. Yeah, no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
We're trying to make it fit. We're trying
to make it fit.
Right.
Well, that's the thing. We're trying to make it fit. We're trying to be all inclusive. We're trying not to get canceled, which is stupid. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll depend specifically on the culture around the sports. I mean, we were going back to the thing about are there any sports where you can mix adult males and females and it would be fair? I mean, I don't know. It depends. Like, let's take golf for example, right? I'm a 6'1", 240-pound man. I can drive the ball, pretty decently, but there are women who are half my size who can kill me. I mean, murder me in golf, man. Hit the ball off the tee farther. They have more skill levels. So if she was playing in a Friday afternoon league with a bunch of us regular dudes at the course or whatever, I don't think anybody would be in their feelings. You know what I mean? But if it's like the PGA, can a woman step over and play on a male-linked golf course and compete with men? No, they can't hit the ball as far as the other male pros. So I think you have to probably tailor it to each sport, but I think we just have to get past the fact of the idea that it's crazy or mean to insinuate that there are unfair advantages to people playing sports not with the right sex. We just have to get to the point where we say it's not fair. And the people who don't want us to say it's not fair to people who are that'll cancel you. That'll try to cancel you. So it's a hot mess.
It definitely is, man. And it's gonna be interesting to see how everything unfolds. I mean, we already seeing like the co-ed basketball games and stuff with All-Star Weekend, like the different things. So it's gonna be interesting, but it is what it is, right? We can't control everything. We can only control the controllables. That's a life gem. If you guys just tuning in, welcome to Lapeef Sports. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Hit the like button, y'all. I don't know what we are on likes, but just hit it. It's free. That's all I'm asking for. If you're here watching, hit it. Also, subscribe to the channel. That's how you guys are aware of what's going on. Hit that bell. Set the notifications to all. Don't miss any show. Sage Talk with Lee is happening at 2 p.m. today. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that too. All right, moving on, y'all, to the meat of the conversation. Thank you guys for the constant support. Let me go ahead and pull this up. You guys seen on the thumbnail, women love a man's status, right? Women love a man's status. Groupie love, I guess some men may say, if they have too much of the women, right? And we do have a couple of women on the panel. So, of course, by default, I would like to start with you guys and get you guys' opinion about it, because one may argue that a woman loves a man's status, and we have the athletes, because again, this is sports, but we do have people that's in the industry. So I do want to kind of tap into that, tie it all in together. And then we just got people that's just not in the space, may not be publicly known, but they do have the status. So do women love a man's status? Either one of you ladies can go first.
Jamie can go first.
So you say you're gonna go first?
No, you go ahead, sis.
Okay, so I think it depends on the type of woman, right? So if I'm established, I have my own everything, I own everything, I can buy myself everything. I don't think that women like myself will go after or seek men of status just because. Most women that I know that are like that, they don't have, they lack. I don't know too many balanced women that seek men of status, and that just may be my circle of friends. But my associates, they do, but they don't have anything, so that's why they seek them. So that's my take on it. I just think it's the type of woman that you are. You don't seek or want or prefer a man of status if you already have your own status within yourself. So that's just my quick take on it, as we begin this conversation.
Okay. What are your thoughts, Amber?
Man, I have such a different lens, pun intended, on this because I see it from a different perspective. Absolutely what Jamie says, a lot of women, naturally women, are attracted to a man that have power or perceived power or prestige because it's indicative of him being able to take charge, make decisions, run things, protect, provide, provision, everything. Most women do. For me, because of what I do as a profession, these very men that women covet, they're the ones hiring me to help amplify their image or their business. And because of that, I'm able to cultivate a professional platonic relationship with these type of men. And these women come in droves. They line up. It's almost, sometimes the women don't even want the man. It's the proximity to power that just gets their juices flowing. And these men see it all the time. It's just the low-hanging fruit of what they do.
So those type of women, how would you describe them? Like, what would you say? Like,
extremely low emotional intelligence, insecurity. They lead with their hot pocket, and don't really. They're typically.
Do tell now. What might I have to do to acquire said hot pocket?
That's what I'm talking about.
They don't know how to be themselves. They don't understand their law of attraction. They don't know who they are, in tune with who they are, whose they are. So they lead, and men can smell an insecure woman a mile away. And because these men watch how the women dress, how they move, who they hang with, what they say. And so typically these women don't know how to be themselves in these type of rooms and literally lead with their hot pocket or their looks. Or a lot of women, actually, I will push back, Jamie, that a lot of professional women who have their own, they want the power couple. So they lead with what they do. They lead with their profession, thinking that because they're both high power or have status, that this man wants the same thing.
I agree.
I definitely agree. For me, what I've noticed is I don't know if you guys ever watched, I would assume people have seen remember the Russell Crowe movie Gladiator?
Oh, that's one of my favorite movies.
And the love interest in the movie asked him if he still loved her or whatever. And, he was like, he said she had a talent for survival. It's a survival mechanism. It's biologically in us. Women are not going to go for the shoemaker when, the knight is standing right there because the knight has more social capital. Her survival and her ability to have children is more likely with the knight than a horseshoe maker.
I don't agree. I don't agree because I could just speak on my personal experience. I have chosen one over the other, and in doing that, I see why that person is a shoemaker. You know, everyone is where they are because of where they want to be.
Well, I agree with you. I would advise women to date the knight, not the shoemaker. I wouldn't never tell women to go to do that.
You talk about a cobbler?
Yeah,
Is that what you talk about, Avon? Or you talking
horseshoe? Who's the guy that makes the horseshoes? I'm pretty sure he makes less than the knight, right?
Oh, okay.
That's all I'm trying.
I thought you talking about a real shoemaker.
But me, I just hear men say this all the time. Like, and it's not true. Like, men say this all the time, but when you do go date someone of, you know, let's say the opposite of someone that has status, you find out why they are where they are in life. And that's just the honest to God truth. You know, it's not about anything but that. And I don't think status drives a woman. Like some women, I think, you know, of course, but when I personally can say I have talked to someone of lower status, and it just made me realize this is why women don't talk to men of lower status, but that didn't make me want to seek out or want men of status. I guess if that makes sense.
Could you put a number on that low status so I can know what that means?
What you mean? As it pertains to what?
You said it's a low status. Why do you say it's a low status?
I don't even like to use the word though. Like I don't even like to use that because for me, I just look at
that's why I was just asking. How much did he make a year to say he's low status?
So for me, low status is not low. So I feel like let's say he was making, and it's not even a low status. It could be anywhere.
Don't backtrack. Don't backtrack now.
Are we talking about income or status? Because there's a lot of dudes.
There's two different things with income.
There's a lot of dudes that's hood popular.
Okay. All right, Ava, don't fuck up my question. I almost had it there. Shut up.
Why are you trying to kill her?
You're right.
Come on, man.
Hello, motherfucker.
Well, let's move on.
We trying to weed them out. We trying to weed them out.
So did she ever answer the question, like, in your personal opinion, what's considered low status, Jamie?
It's not based on income. It's based on your energy. It's not.
That's some bullshit.
So status is your social capital. If you're perceived to be the plug, if you perceive to have the resources, if you perceive to open doors that nobody can, if you have access to rooms and people that not the average person can. I know a lot of men with status that are broke. And I know a lot of men without status who are considered high earners or high value.
Amber, man, I'm going to double down on that one right now. All I'm going to say is we have a mutual friend who is a very popular person on Instagram, and they make less than $30,000 a year. And I'm just like, it happens all the time. It happens all the time. And this is why I said, is it what kind of status? What are we talking about here? Because there are women who, regardless of their status, that will not date some dude from the hood. He may be hood popular and hood rich, but because he's a hood dude, they don't want nothing to do because he got hood status. Like, is his status in the hood? Is his status in corporate America? Like, a lot of women would rather date the $50,000 a year dude that works in corporate America than $110,000 a year dude that drives trucks and is on Instagram every 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Acting a fool. You know, like it's all in the eye of the beholder. But you do have to, I think men on some level do have to have some sort of, status just ruins the whole thing, but you have to have some level of income, some level of go get it to attract women or whatever. So I don't know.
Yeah. If I had to speak on that, I think status is more like an attraction, right? It's almost like that. It can be used to get your foot in the door. But just like women can look good, you know, and then once we start talking to them, it's like, what the hell did I get myself into? You start finding out all type of things. So status will probably attract a woman, not all women, right? But they may attract some women. And then once they learn more about you, you know, once they go on a few dates, you know, once it's time to go on a trip or something like that, and you know, you got to wait. Yeah, let's go this. You know, you just can't up and go. Then it's like now starting to really see who you truly are. I want to ask you guys real quick: is there a difference between status and power when it comes to men?
I mean, yeah. There's some people we don't even know, and they got so much power in the world. Those are people who got the most power. We don't even know who they are. I guess the status is only influential amongst the people who knows them, but the majority doesn't even know the people who run the world who really at the top. There's so many little companies until you get to the top. Unless you do your research on it, you don't know who runs what. So I'm sure Jonathan knows. That's probably one guy, but I don't know who does it. So
Man, look, that happens in my industry all the time in real estate, right? So the current trend in real estate is to be on TikTok doing dances and acting a fool and being a damn clown or whatever for attention or whatever. And they're real estate gurus and they know every damn thing, but low key the people they have to go borrow hard money for their projects from some dude named Les Swizzlestein, who nobody knows, is some random guy in New York who's 55 who you couldn't point out in the lineup. So absolutely, has power and status are completely different from each other.
Yeah, the way I look at it as status is the club promoter who can possibly get you in the club, but the power is the person who owns the club. Everybody wants to be the plug, but you have no juice to turn the electricity on.
I've actually seen some club promoters that don't even have power, but they act like they do have power, right? But they truly,
perceived
yeah,
status.
yeah.
Well, I look at it like this: a woman has to be very confident in herself. I mean, you can't be a unconfident woman and want to deal with a man with status, because if not, man, his status alone is going to make you jealous, envious, possessive, and controlling, because the status he has, I mean, everybody wants a piece of him. So, I mean, a lot of women say they want. Do you really? Are you ready for all them issues and drama you may have to deal with that comes with this man's status?
They do. Like I said, sorry to cut you off. When Jamie asked the type of woman who has low emotional intelligence, just like men have ego, a woman has ego. And a woman will feel chosen. Like, man, this man can have any woman he wants. And he chose me.
Yeah, but he might only chose that hot pocket for the night.
Exactly. And you're correct. That's what I'm saying. It's an insecurity thing. What's so funny, Aben? He cracking up.
I'm agreeing.
You cracking up over there.
I even think about that Luther Vandross. One night.
That is the trap.
That's
I
it.
think a lot of women don't realize that's the biggest trap. One of the biggest traps out there is they fall for guys who all the other women want because of the status, but by default, him having this status, he has a choice of women he wants to be with for a good time, not a long time.
Stick and move, baby.
And that's the inherent trap of status chasers, and it's kind of poetic justice if you think about it. They're kind of getting what they deserve.
I want to ask this question because I know that Jamie hint on it, that it all depends on the type of woman. And you mentioned a woman that chased the bag. She doesn't really care about a man's status. And we kind of have conversations about that on these various networks about women that's in a bag. It's going to take a certain type of guy to be able to deal with them. Do you guys think that women that chase the bag, are they possibly insecure? Because I'm sitting here thinking that there's a reason why they're chasing that bag, typically, right? There's usually something that they're trying to. There's usually something that happens where, up in most cases, I won't say all, that they feel the need that they have to be at this status, that they have to do this. Am I making sense? Do you guys agree?
Absolutely. I talk about this almost every week about the concept of financial trauma. A lot of people specifically date people with money because they didn't grow up with it. That's fine. When you don't grow up with money, you grow up poor, it does tend to leave financial trauma in your system. You know what I mean? So like if you grow up, you don't have nothing, and you've said to yourself, I'm never not going to have anything again, that's definitely going to affect the type of man you date or the type of woman you date. Well, I mean, more so for the ladies. Men tend to, let me stop. There is some gold digging ass dudes out here, but for the most part, a lot of ladies will date men who only have money or only have status because they didn't have that as a young person, and it brought them trauma. Seeing your parents argue about the credit card bills or your parents not being able to send you to college is financial trauma. A lot of people, yeah, go ahead.
Even the only pushback I got on that.
Oh,
Go ahead, Amber. I think you're gonna say what I'm about to say. Go ahead.
Well, specifically for women, Black women, when it comes to finance, you may be correct, but us women, we have the words of our grandmother and our mothers in our ears. We have witnessed our grandmothers maybe in not healthy relationships and couldn't leave or didn't have any options because they were solely depending on their husbands for financial stability. So as growing up, our grandmothers and our mothers are in our ears. Get your own money. Go to school. Get an education. Don't be like me. Don't be in a position where you have to stay in an unhealthy relationship or unhealthy situation because you don't have your own. It's not saying it's right, but we also have the words of our mother and our grandmothers in our ears pushing us in that direction.
And everything that you just said, and a woman that talked to that was trash. That is wrong. Because now you're already planning B for the divorce or the separation. That's not good. That's not good.
Let me ask you this: as a young girl, and I'm speaking specifically for me, I saw my grandmother and my grandfather didn't have the healthiest relationship. Saw my grandmother miserable, but she kept her head down and stuck with it for the kids, for the family, but also because she couldn't financially have any other options. Is her telling me, don't be like me, don't be in this position like me, or have a backup plan is trash? Because I understand now as a grown woman who have done the healing where that was misleading, but I understand that came from hurt and being scared for her daughters and granddaughters. Because she told us all of us, get your own. Don't be like me. Don't be in a situation where you cannot have another option.
Well, now it's one thing to go out to get your own before you're married, right? Before you're in a relationship with your spouse. But it's another thing to do it while you with them. Now you plan a rainy day fund. You're being deceitful. You're lying. You're not being honest, and you're planning for your escape plan. Nothing about that is going to be successful in a relationship. Nothing. I would never tell my daughter to do that. I would never tell my son to do something like that. I would never tell any woman that I'm associated with to do something like that, because you're planning for the exit. And if you're already planning for the exit, don't get in it. Now, what your grandmother did, she was fighting thick and thin, and that's what she should have did. That's what she's supposed to do. Fight it out to the end. We're gonna fail together. We're gonna rise together. When everything was good, you was good. Now that everything's bad, now you ready to turn coat and run? Kiss my ass. Hell no. It's not how it should go. We're going to fight through this. We're going to make it. Now, if there's something else going on with your grandmother and your grandfather, then that's different. Now, I'm sure back in those days, they wasn't looking to get therapy. Unless you crazy, you're going to get therapy.
There were outside kids, other families, we all know that.
All of that's going to happen, but at the end of the day, man, think you got to fight through this. You're not just going to plan B, put money to the side, and next thing you know, you're going to bail out. Oh, that's not good. It's not good. But I hope you don't do that. I hope you don't do your man like that, dude.
No, but I was piggybacking what Avon's saying, that why women are chasing the bag, because we still have trauma, right? Trauma and words and paradigms that are still embedded in our subconscious as why we're making certain decisions as adults now. So that's why I brought that up.
Ladies, please don't do this. Please don't do that, because you'll never be happy. You're gonna always have your track shoes on. You always gonna have anytime you come up with any adversity, is this gonna be our answer to run? Any sign of trouble? No. If you can help it, work it out. Get it together. Get counseling. Do what you have to do to fix it. But just don't turn and run. There's gonna be some hard times. It's gonna be some down times. It's gonna be some great times. But just fight it out.
And the only pushback that I had to Avon, what he said about the financial trauma, I guess, is what I see most, it's what you said was that if they were broke or poor and they grew up poor, then they'll have like a desperation to not go back. Typically, when they're poor, it doesn't just pertain to women. It's more so a humbling experience. It's not so much like a I'm not going to go back, but they also understand where they came from. You know what I mean? It's not, you know what I mean? The only people that I see that has this desperation to stay at the top is either pretty women who feel like they deserve it, or women who grew up rich. Then they also feel like they deserve it. They compare the men to their dad or something. Those are the financial trauma, if you want to say, to when they feel like they deserve it, either from their father or they're just pretty enough that they feel like this is what they're entitled to. I don't really see it amongst broke people growing and coming up to the top. Typically, they humble. It's like I don't ever want to go back to that because I understand what it's like, but it's not like I don't know. It's not. I don't feel like it's the description that you gave off. I think it's more
My
so the
thing,
people who feel entitled to that money.
my thing was more so who they choose to date as far as what the outcomes could be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you grow up and your parents are always arguing about money, or your mom was doing it on her own and was, doing things maybe she had no business doing, or working five dang jobs to make ends meet or whatever, and there was negativity that came along. Like it don't even have to be nothing dramatic. I mean, it's something as simple as I used to date a young lady whose mother could never show up to stuff after school because her mom worked second shift or whatever, right? So she wants to date men who would allow her to be a stay-at-home mom because she wants to be a mom who stays at home and never misses events. That's what I mean by financial trauma, where the finances of the situation create situations where it scars a person in their childhood and they don't want to relive those childhood instances and circumstances. You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
happens for me. It happens for me. Like, I don't want to be in a situation where I ever have to scrap for something at the last minute for my child. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I've been there. I've done that. You know what I mean? Where 2 days away from my son's birthday, I got to get out there and hustle to get it because the job number one ain't allowing me to make ends meet right now. You know what I mean? So,
I think that
or yeah,
my, I
like
think my whole
yeah,
difference is not being financially literate. It's more like I guess I'm thinking more on the extreme end. You know what I mean? Where you're chasing like a top percenter that's like less than 1%. Like you're chasing a Future or Chris Brown or Trey Songz or whoever. Like if you're chasing those people, it seems much more out of desperation in my eyes. Like what you're saying is just like being financially literate. It's like that's a little bit different than you being down making 20K a year and now you're bringing in 100K or 150K together. Like that's just being financially literate as a
Yeah,
people. So that's different.
yeah,
But we can move on, Jared, if you
yeah,
want.
yeah. Now I was gonna say, I think it's based on our experiences. I think you guys are both right and made some great points because I have seen a woman that found out later that her mother and father was really broken and her mother was stressed, and so she had to go out there and get it to make up for what her father wasn't doing. So I can say that there's some truth to that, and then I think you made a point too, which I do would like to kind of break that up. You said pretty women and women that come from a rich background that they're going to be on it. They're going to have these expectations as far as trying to secure the bag. Jamie, what are your thoughts about it before we kind of transition and break this status conversation down a little bit more?
I don't think that's true, like, depending on how someone and again, it's just about who you are internally. So I just think that the category is so broad because it's just about, again, a group or how you just function inwardly. So if you can look the prettiest and you don't even think about stuff like that because and when you say if I chase the bag, am I insecure? No, I just want to be dependent enough where I don't have to depend on a man, but I know that I need a man. And that's the difference. Like I don't want to ever be in a position in life where I have to talk to a man because I'm not financially stable. I want a man to be able to come around and see that I'm stable. You can add to my life, you just can't make it. You're not the end all be all financially. But as a man's role is just that it's more than finances to me. So I don't think it's based on how someone looks. It's just about, again, it's per person. It's just what you feel or how you grew up, kind of. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. Because again, like Amber said, when you heal and you go through things, you know what you want, you know what you don't want anymore. And it's just, again, it's a per person thing. That's just how I look at it.
Yeah. I want to ask you guys this because we've been talking about status, right? And when it comes to like athletes and again, people that's in the industry, we typically see the same women in rotation for some odd reason. I don't know what it is about these particular women. And even before the show started, I was asking you guys, like, do these women have a rating system? Like, why is it that men can't go and get them an average woman? Like, why are they recycling these women? Like, does the women give the men more status, like credibility?
And
As
see,
far
this
as
is mind-boggling for me. I'm sorry. Like, I never understood, and I can never understand how men of and we're talking about finances now, right? Like, so talking about like how you mentioned celebrities and basketball players. So if you're a millionaire and you make like all of this money, what makes you want to deal with a woman who has nothing? Or well, their bodies, of course. I mean, I just think for men it goes both ways. For men, they look at the bodies of them. They don't look at like the body of a woman. And look at like the outer instead of the inner for me. Because if I was a millionaire, there's no way I want someone that can't make me another million. That's just how I look at it.
I've said
What?
this time and time again. I've said this time and time again.
I got to hear why you said what, Sway.
Athletes are a bad example in this because they're outliers. They never learned to hunt with their bare hands. From the time that they were 12, 13, 14 years old, they've been able to have access to the women they want without doing anything. That stunts a man's growth when it comes to dealing with women. If you have to, I guess it goes back to our concept, our discussion. Is it tricking or is it? Do you just got it? No, it's tricking because you never learned how to step to a woman with your pockets empty and still get what you want. And a lot of these athletes have never learned that ever.
Go ahead, Sway. You were saying what?
I guess let me start. How would a woman come into a man's life if he's making $1 million already? How would you help him make another $1 million? Like what would be some things if you had anything?
It can be a business venture. It's just my thing is I've seen how you guys talk about how women seek men of status. Men seek women with less than. So it's just about how a woman looks. So they're not going to date a regular woman. Like, for example, if they had to choose between, let's say, a teacher versus a bartender, they're going to choose the bartender. And the bartender has her body done. The teacher may not. She's just a regular woman.
Well, the only pushback that I have there, if they're both bad, 'cause I've seen some bad teachers. I'm pretty sure the teacher will get picked up before the bartender.
Not
if they met. If they're both in the same room.
They had a conversation.
Yeah, because it's easier to pick up a bartender because you go to the bar. It's not like you're going to this unless you have a child already. Why are you going to a school? But like I'm saying, it's
just being out.
If they were in the same room and they both met a guy and they were like, I'm a bartender and one's a teacher and they're both bad, I'm pretty sure he's gonna pick the teacher.
Not men, not like basketball players and rappers.
Oh, you talking about athletes and basketball players? Wait, why would they? How would you make? Wait,
you guys would just be out at brunch.
But how would you make an athlete another $1 million?
You can add to their venture. You can add to what they have. Like it can be anything. It can be through real estate. It can be through marketing, being his marketer. Because there are some athletes who just don't do anything but play basketball.
But do you know the attitude that it takes to get all those assets? Like that's the biggest problem. It's not the assets. It's the attitude and everything, the software that comes with acquiring all those assets. And a lot of times it's masculine. And we don't want that energy around us because then we're arguing and confrontational. Like these people who are go-getters and get the bag, quote unquote, men and women, they have A-type personalities typically. So you can't just be a passive, carefree, loving, go-getty woman and think y'all can just turn it on and off. No, you're one or the other. So it's like a lot of these traits they takes to acquire these assets and try to, get him a bag or $1 million to add on. It's like you're already masculine. We don't want you. So
so going back to the title, why don't you see men of certain statuses dating regular women then? Like you guys see, like she said, she see the women in and out. And that's why I asked Amber, what type of women do you see around these type of celebrities? So why don't we see more regular women around people?
Are you
with
talking about
status?
regular looking?
Because, yeah,
Well,
Hold on,
They're
hold
not
on,
going to get
hold
regular
on,
looking shit.
hold on, y'all. So like, I know
What
we're
we-
talking about celebrities and we're talking about athletes, right? Let's finish that, but then I also want us to answer it from like a regular people. You know,
Yeah,
not
that's where I was
yeah,
coming from at the start. I didn't know we were coming about athletes.
yeah. Because I did bring up the athletes and how they recycle the same women and how they tend to want to have certain women around them. So is it just for status purposes? Like if you do have somebody that's known out there, like does that amp you up? Because we see basketball players. What's that model name? Winnie, like Winnie, whatever her name is. I think she's
Carlo, Winnie
dating. Yeah,
Carlo.
yeah. I seen it getting passed around a little
Okay.
bit, and I'm just
Well,
like wondering, like, are there any other women that's out there? And we see this time and time again, or is it more of a status thing? But then
Right.
I also want us to address like the average man. So if they making 200,000, what type of women are they going after? Like, are they going for the teacher, or still are they going for the woman that works as a bottle girl that has her body all done up? So let's make sure we address it on both sides for the people that's watching.
I can answer Jamie. I apologize if I didn't answer your question correctly. And to answer JR's question, the reason ball players, celebrities typically date the same type of women, not date, smash, is because these women are exceptionally beautiful. And it just, in all honesty, a woman's beauty, a woman's femininity is her currency. So typically, these women are in the same spaces as these ball players and entertainers because, believe it or not, these entertainers and ball players are not out and about. They're not regular folks like us where we got to go to the grocery store and go to the laundromat and go to work and go pick up the kids. They're typically either training, either filming, and typically circulate around the same spaces or the same groups. And these same women are within the same groups, within the same vicinities. Their boys match, and the boys pass them along to them. So to answer that question, that is why. Not saying it's right. I'm just saying it is what is. If that answers both your questions.
It does.
Well, I look at it like this: a beautiful woman's going to bring you a certain level of status, regardless, and they can get you to have. They could get you in certain spaces that an average woman couldn't get you. You know, just because on their beauty alone. You know what I'm saying? People gonna ask a question. They're gonna inquire like, well, who is this? Who are you weird with? Are you weird with some certain people? Oh, is that so? I like to talk to that guy. You know, they like to interact with them type of people. That's just what it is. Just because they're beautiful alone. And, you know, like you said, they all go to the same parties. That's why the little groupie chicks. They all gonna hang around the same party. They know where the party is. They got friends, and guess what? Most of these stars are these celebrities. They seen them on Instagram, and all of a sudden these Instagram chicks are at the parties they at. Now they trying to get at them. So
And
that's why they get passed around.
And I am Courtney Michelle is correct. And on a marketing imagery standpoint, publicists will directly link you with certain women and make sure paparazzi take a photo to create buzzworthy content for celebrities. There's been a lot of has been a lot of fake relationships to get marketed, to promote albums, to promote branding, to promote a game that's coming up. So there's a huge game behind that. Now, to regular folks, I've worked with many powerful men in different sectors, whether it's the pastor, whether it's in the non-for-profit sector, in tech and finances. If you go to these galas and these high powerful men are singular bachelors, who typically shows up on their arm? Extraordinary, exotic, beautiful women as arm candy. And it's literally a show for that moment, for that time. Doesn't mean they're going to take them seriously. No. But a beautiful, exotic, extremely admirable woman is going to scale your imagery for whatever reason.
Can I also add that a lot of these women give these guys what I call predictable outcomes?
Absolutely.
In the sense that if people always say, why don't the athletes date, the teacher? He don't know it. He doesn't know what the outcome is going to be. If you dating Britney Grinder, we know what the outcome is going to be. A lot of annoying voices, a lot of smashing, and eventually casting you aside for you to be the next dude. You know what I'm saying? We know what that outcome is going to be. You don't know what the outcome is going to be with the teacher or the bus driver or the accountant or the social worker, because you don't know them. They're not in that space or whatever. They're looking for predictable outcomes. But it does, and to break it down to quote unquote our level, there's a couple of women in my I guess my periphery or my friend group or whatever. Everybody knows she's accessible. Everybody knows she can be had and she can be, poked on as and that's going to be the outcome. Men look for predictable outcomes. We don't like unpredictable outcomes when it comes to dealing with women. And I think that's why a lot of them continue to go to the Instagram models, because they look the same, they dress the same, they do the same. It's a predictable outcome.
I want to ask you guys about, and I love having these conversations because I would like to tackle it from all angles just so people are fully aware. Would you guys say that there are male groupies as well too, that men that attach themselves to men of status? Let's talk about that. I see Jamie, you haven't spoken in a little bit. Go ahead, and then Amber, I'd love to get the ladies' input while I have you on there.
No, absolutely. No, I don't have anything else to say than absolutely. Definitely male groupies.
JR, I'm your biggest fan.
Jamie, since you've seen it, is there anything that you can highlight what you see when it comes to male groupies?
No, it's just, and let's specify the male groupies. And where are we focusing in on the male groupies within other men or male groupies within Instagram women? Let's specify where, because
when it comes to other men.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's just I've seen the worst case scenarios, like just men, but again, it's just the inwardly thing. They're just not confident who they are. They have more confidence in the person next to them instead of the person that's within themselves. So,
man, look, she just knocked it out the park right there. You want confirmation for this about the male groupies? Go look at the live version of Chief Keef performer Don't Like in Chicago. It's 120 dudes on stage with him. 120 dudes on stage. Those are male groupies. They trying to be in the periphery so someone can see them with that person. So there's an opportunity, whether it be with a woman or something financial. It happens all the time.
Yeah, and that's totally true. And well, my thing is, like, they want to be part of it, but don't want to do the hard work. That's the crazy part about male groupies. Like, they want, like you said, they want to be known for this person. Like, oh, this is Chief Keef's best friend. And they're going to say that their Instagram name may be best friend of Chief Keef, just for that attention. It's crazy.
I think I'm the laziest male groupie because I really want to be friends with J. Cole.
What?
But I can't meet him, or I guess I don't know where to meet him, but I really want to be friends with him. So J. Cole, if you see this, give me a call. Come to the Lapeef Network. Let's be friends, guy. I want to be your friend.
You want to be his friend because of his intellect, right? You feel that he can ask.
He just seems like he's a dope dude, man.
Right. That's music. That's different.
I like his music. I'm a J. Cole fan. J. Cole, the guy.
That's different. That's different than you wanting to be known as his friend because so you can gain access to women. Or
I don't really care about being known. I'd just rather I'll be his friend in the darkness. I'll be friend in the background.
Right. You just want to gain some type of intellectual,
I just want to be friends with him. So J. Cole, there's no benefit, no negative. Just be friends with me, please.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you guys a real quick story. Real quick. So one of my guys I went to college with, his name is Damon, also referred to as Omen. He's a part of Dreamville. So me and him came in to college together. We went to University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign, and all he did was just be in it. He was quiet.
ILL.
Huh? Oh, IL, yeah. So he was pretty quiet, and all he did was just make music. He used to make beats and doing these little raps because he was like on that. Use all these big words all the goddamn time. He was real smart. He went to Kenwood and he spent all that time. And him and J. Cole wound up connecting before J. Cole was J. Cole. And it's kind of like they just aligned themselves just because they had like similar interests. And then fast forward, he wound up signing to Dreamville. And he, he has his own fan base. He's not out there like that, but there's a lot of people that know of him. But sometimes it's just a matter if you just doing what it is that you like doing, and you guys just become in the same circles and you guys build together.
I was just gonna say that we can male groupie can also be redefined as networking. You know what I mean? You ain't getting done accomplished with a bunch of nobodies who ain't never done nothing around you either. You know what I mean? So, like, it happens a lot in my industry. There's a lot of guys, like I said, who are Instagram famous from real estate, and they'll hold these meetups, and like everybody wants to take a picture of them with them because they want to be associated with them. And I think it brings into bring in some level of competency. Like, oh, if I know this guy, then he must know what he's doing or whatever. So you see it all the time in my industry or whatever. I think the difference between being a groupie and networking is that if you're using that access to better yourself instead of using that access to kind of like get a free ride. If I meet a guy at a real estate event and I'm like, yo, I know you know how to do this type of transaction. I want to meet him so he can teach me how to do that transaction. Some people want to go there and look for a handout. Hey, can you do this transaction for me? And I think that's the difference.
I don't know, man. I can't really say there's a person that I'm screaming about. There's anybody like I don't too much do concerts, and that's why I look at everybody as being human, no matter how famous the world makes them. I'm just like they just a regular human.
All my heroes are
And
dead.
and like the reason why I'm gonna kind of go back to the conversation we was having before, the reason why I've seen a lot of women that was in a bag, even like a lot of pretty women, a lot of them are insecure. And if you really talk to them and you look them in their eyes and have a conversation, you can really see it being broken down like right in front of you. Like if you staring too hard, they don't know what you're staring at. You just engage in eye contact. Yeah, you notice the fake eyelash, or yeah, you noticed something here or there, and they don't really know what you're looking at. So now you start to see the insecurity come out. I've even seen it when it comes to like a very intelligent man talking to a woman that tries to be intelligent, but she really not. It could be something as simple as she mispronounced the wrong food or something like that when you're in a restaurant. You can just really see somebody break down. If you really look at them, because most women that's pretty, they're not used to a man that's just looking at them and just reading them and breaking them down like right there in real time. Usually the guys shine away or even scared to approach her. But if you engage in a conversation with them, you can find a lot. You can find out a whole lot about these women, and you can see that they really insecure. Or if you date them, you'll start to find out different things. Like they'll put up this wall, and then there'll be some things you see, and it's like, this is the reason why you're single. This is the reason why you're single. This all starting to come out. But that's another story. Go ahead.
Lapeef, you got the girl shaky, man. They shaky. They're like, oh shit, JR, fuck.
Go ahead, Amber. I know you want to get all the ladies in first.
Male groupies are worse than female groupies, in my experience. They are worse. Reason being, female groupies typically lead with their hot pocket. As a man, you can't lead with anything except being a yes man or a dick rider, because you have to, and then try to leverage your man's power to get hot pockets or get money. It's one thing if a man in power was like, man, I'm doing well. I'm going to bring my homie on. I'm going to have my homie be my manager. I'm going to have my homie do this. I want everybody to eat. But if you have to follow, text, beg, tag another grown man in his success as your identity to who you are, you're worse in my view. And I have no respect for you.
Amber, let me ask you a question. Since we travel sometimes in the same circles.
Okay, let's go.
I'm going to tell you a perfect example of this. And I actually left a business opportunity because of this nonsense. So I went to this person's place of business, and the dude was 15 minutes late showing up for the meeting, and all his employees were waiting for him to show up because they're having this big meeting or whatever, right? This man showed up with a whole manservant, like an actual Farnsworth Bentley. And I'm like, number one, did we all grown people here? Why did you think this was a good idea? And number two, how do you agree to that? Like, how do you put how much money do you think you're going to get from, like, he actually put like the cape over him like he was James Brown. I'm like, dog, like when I saw that, you ever had, the LeBron James meme where you got to pack up your shit and go and lead a press conference? That's what I did. So I was like, I'm not going to be associated with this nonsense, man. Lord have mercy. I saw that.
So Bruce Wayne can have a butler, but we can't have butlers?
Well, you know, we Philip Banks and Jeffrey from, you know, Fresh Prince.
Low key.
Why can't we have paid butlers, Avon?
Bruce Wayne is the trashiest superhero in the whole realm, dog. He a millionaire out there beating up on people, making $6 an hour. But he beating up on homeless dudes, stealing purses in the alley.
Hey, don't move the goalpost. Don't move the goalpost. Okay.
Bruce Wayne is a trash.
Can we not have butlers putting cape on us when we want them to?
Hey, man. Hey. Shout out to the dick riders and the man servants.
He can't figure out how to beat the Riddler, but he cool with jumping in the alley. You know what I'm saying? Like
he figured it out. Did you not see the new movie?
I didn't see the movie. Don't ruin it,
bro. Watch the movie.
Okay, I have a serious question for the fellas then. If you saw a man who was a paid Jeffrey, a paid servant, getting paid well, would you still respect him? Would you see this as a man that's doing
like, how
his
did
job,
you get this
taking
job
over from another man?
How did you acquire said slow job? So I can tell my homies.
Yeah, I would say. I would say yeah. I mean, as long as he getting his bag.
I don't know how much he make. If he making $100K, putting a cape on a dude, man, go do you, bro. I don't care.
I don't think he was making $100K.
I know he won't make it 50. He was probably making a good 80.
Would you respect him?
Y'all pocket watching, huh? Y'all pocket watching.
Another man wasn't making 80, bro.
I thought you said it was by a famous person.
He's just a real estate professional who he had his own office or whatever, but it's like,
oh, that guy had been going cheap then.
It was like, no, what are we doing here?
That must have been cracked.
You notice they're not answering the question, right? You see that, sis?
Listen, it depends how much money he make.
Also, there's a condition.
Yes, there's conditions. There are conditions. There are conditions. Yes, it's conditional.
What's the question?
I'm gonna say it. I ain't gonna deflect. It's conditional. If he don't make a certain amount, ain't no respect.
If you see a man, a grown-ass black man, being a servant to another man and getting paid well, would you still have the same respect for him because he's doing his paid job? Be honest.
Not wired like that.
I don't like how you word that. No, I can't.
Yeah.
No, I don't like it.
No, don't go how she worded. Go what she originally said.
Thank you, Sway.
Fuck that. If he make a certain amount, I don't care what he do. Do you, bro? You making bank. You making more money than the average. So you making $80K as a butler a year. That is more than the average black man. I don't care.
So you're gonna be a Steve.
I ain't gonna care. Thank you. I don't care. I don't care.
You're gonna be a Steve. Okay. Damn.
He got to come up. That's all that in my head. Shit.
Yeah, but I mean, if he's
getting his food paid for, they get their food paid for. They don't have to pay no bills, bro. Yeah, and he get paid $80K a year. Are you dumb? That's all profit.
Answer the question.
That's all profit.
Is that the man's title as a butler?
That's all profit. That's all I'm saying.
So you got some men that may respect him, but I don't think a woman would respect him. Like,
no, that's what I said. A woman ain't gonna respect him.
Just to answer my question.
I'm not a woman.
He's a man with
a my bro, and he got a butler.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, look here.
He ain't got to pay no food. He ain't got to pay no bills. That's all profit. My man is Gucci. All he got to do is pay his phone bill and his car note.
Hey, Dan Quayle was considered a yes man when he was vice president of the Bush. So. You know, it is what it is.
That's what I'm saying, man.
It is what it is. But like I said, a woman ain't gonna respect him. A woman is probably gonna respect him if he carries himself like that. But
I see Amber shaking her head, Jamie.
And
if a man says he's a butler.
No,
you're not answering my question. Y'all still haven't answered my question.
No. I said no. I'm not wired for it. I'm not wired for it at all. I'm not going to respect it.
No. With the scenario you said a black man is going to be just a shucking and jiving attitude.
No, a paid black man. That is his job. To put a cape on another man or do whatever the hell. He's the yes man. He is Jeffrey.
How much is he making?
But it has to be conditional, right?
All right, so we got Ava said he wouldn't. He said he wouldn't. Sway said he would, depending on the amount of money. And I'm like,
hold on, would y'all ladies do it? Would y'all ladies do the shit?
Yes, they would. They would do it with a smile. They do it for free.
Hold on. I want to hear what they got to say. I want to hear what they got to say.
Do it for free.
Oh, they do it for free?
Who gonna do it for free? No, we were talking about be a butler. No. And I wouldn't respect them because I think a man is supposed to be a man. That's not manly to me. That's my opinion. I want my man to be a man. Manly. I don't want him.
What makes him less of a man just because he's a butler?
I think because in order to have that job or just any job, it's a mental thing. So mentally you're thinking or you're lowering your standards if you're doing, it's just like that's just not, no, it's just something mental.
I agree with her.
I would, let me tell you why I would, because if a man was working for a bus driver or the railroad, he has a boss who's telling him what to do.
That's totally different than a man running up ahead of a man.
Nah. This is the problem here. Hold up. This is the bullshit that I'm talking about. Y'all be judging men based off their jobs.
No, that's not. No.
He could be a plumber. He could be the guy that goes in the sewers. And he will make so much money, but y'all don't want to give him a chance because his status. It look gross. Bro, if he a butler, so what? How much money is he making for being a butler? That's what y'all should be asking. Fuck his job.
No, I got a perfect example of this. Look, you know who rubs me the wrong way when I'm downtown here in Chicago, I'm up like near the north, and they got these buildings with the doormen. They usually these dudes in their late 40s to late 60s, they brothers. And they, okay, Mr. I'm gonna bring the car around. And
they always
no, dog, you might as well go
They're providing for themselves. They're providing for their families. We don't know if that was their calling, their assignment. We don't know if that was the best thing they can do. If they got laid up from another job and they do it well. So who are we to judge?
So shoe shine guy, he can't get your number.
Listen, man,
yes, he can. Stop my shoes, Daddy. Okay.
I'm talking about judging a man's job, and it's legal. I can understand if you were judging a man's job.
Get your number.
How are y'all judging a man's job that's legal?
Hold on, y'all.
Good money. If it's good money, why are y'all judging?
I would date a plumber over a shoe shiner. Yeah, I would date a plumber over.
I want to pose a question for y'all real quick. I want to pose a question. This is still.
Y'all love status more than money. I know that.
Yeah, this is still in reference. So let's say you got somebody. Let's say you got somebody that's 25 and under, right? Because I've seen this where men would try to position themselves in certain places to be able to learn the game or to be able to see how an individual moves. So like the P. Diddy's, right? You 23, 24, right? Fresh out of college, you get the opportunity to serve P. Diddy. But you got a plan, like I'm about to ready to see how he move. I'm about to network. I'm about to see what it is, become cool. I'm not going to do this every day for the rest of my life. And he probably exit out of 3 years, 2 years, whatever goal he sets place and he feel like he reached that goal. Would you guys have respect for that individual? Does age determine? Would age be a factor as far as if that man is doing that job or not?
Well, that's what I was just speaking on mentally. Where are you? When it comes to that type of job. So if you have this conversation, because everything is based on conversation and communication. So if I'm communicating with someone and they're saying, hey, I only plan on doing this for 2 years because I'm hoping to obtain X, Y, and Z, that's different than a person that is like this is it. This is all they see. So yes, that's totally different. It's just where they are mentally. And that's what I said earlier.
Yeah, but some internships don't have age limits.
Oh, absolutely.
So what are you going to do? I mean, a man's interning for a minute. It might be a 5, 6 year, 8 year internship. It could happen. But then eventually when a man's status changes and he gonna say, man, you wasn't down with me when I was scraping. Don't come give me the hot pocket now.
Yeah, it depends on the nature of your mentor. And this is what we're talking about is mentorship, right? It depends on the nature of your mentor. There are good mentors and there are bad mentors. I think you have to be selective about that. If someone right now at my age that has made millions and millions of dollars in real estate wanted to mentor me, yeah, I'm a 40-year-old man that's going to be somebody's mentee if that dude's going to show me how to get the bag. But it depends on the nature of the mentorship. If that mentorship includes me throwing a cape over him and wearing bunny ears at the same time, we ain't got nothing to talk about. You know what I mean? You're going to treat me like a grown-ass man regardless of our economic disparity. And that's what I was getting back to about the doorman thing. Like, bro, you're not paying me $29,000 a year to go drive Miss Daisy, fam. I'm not doing it.
All right, so Avon, if you let's say you're doing that right, and a woman asks you, like, what do you do for a living? What would you tell her?
I would absolutely tell her I work in real estate. That would all I would. That's all you need to say. Now, if you have to deep, and the thing, you have to be able to explain what Jamie said. You have to explain your pathway here. You know what I mean? You have to be able to explain what you're doing. But if out of context, if I'm carrying in a couple of lattes from Starbucks or whatever, and it look like I'm just being his manservant or whatever, of course, there's going to be some deeper explaining or whatever. But this idea of where I'm just here to be a servant and there's no other nature of this relationship other than me to serving this person, then no.
Nah, and so when women ask you what you do, you're going to say I work in real estate. You wouldn't be honest and say I'm interning, which I see absolutely nothing wrong with saying that.
No, I think you have to. Well, there's nothing wrong with saying it, but I think after a certain point, you have to be able to, like I said, you have to be clearly define what you're doing and what the outcome will be at the end of that. If you're just, well, what do you do for a living, man? I work for this dude who work in real estate, and I go get him coffee and donuts and occasionally walk his dog around the corner. Then we got questions.
Hey, I don't know if you see this, but that is, women do ask questions. If you say something about real estate, they're gonna ask, "Oh, what do you do in real estate?"
And exactly, because then I will follow up like, well, what type of real estate, do you do? Is it commercial? Is it residential? Are you an investor? Are
I'm
you
an
a
entrepreneur. Oh, what is it you
God.
do?
That makes me sick.
I'm an investor. Oh, what do you invest in?
Well, that's where in my business where you get exposed real quick. Like, there you go. That would be that.
In other words, Avon got a script. He's gonna have a script.
No. You should. If you out here making cold calls, you do need a script. But
if you don't have your own house, I live in another city. I'm just here visiting.
Like what I specifically do is I wholesale real estate. I wholesale houses or whatever. I find houses for flippers. That would be a viable answer, right? But if your answer is, well, I work in real estate, but I get coffee 97% of the time.
It's just about ultimately where you want to be in life. So I'm a goal getter. So if I would have a conversation with a butler, I would converse with that person because again, you don't know. And like Amber said, it may be that person's calling. We don't know. I'm not going to judge you off the strength of you being a butler. But if in our conversation, you don't have another goal or you don't see yourself acquiring something else, then that's where the cutoff comes in at.
What if ever said, man, second job, he's trying to supplement his income. He's trying to buy a house from Avon, and in order to do that, I need an extra $20,000 to $30,000 a year.
And so again, so that's fine.
Who can afford a butler, bro?
That's fine.
You act like they don't make bank.
He has an end goal. He's trying to do something.
No, I think they worry about the title of the job, though.
But it's just what I'm saying. Like, who can actually afford a butler? And we're talking about what status is that environment bring? Like, y'all are bugging. That's all I'm saying.
Jamie, I have to ask you.
Y'all are bugging.
So if you meet a man, if you meet a man and he's a butler and he is happy and complacent, like this is it. There is no other transition. You found out you wouldn't date him?
I don't believe that would be true, though. I just don't feel like that's just it for anyone. Like, how can you just, because again, it's case by case. Mentally, why I think that? Because that's where I am mentally. So that's just because of me. It doesn't mean that it's right or wrong. That's just my viewpoint, because again, I'm always trying to acquire a different goal. I'm always saying, okay, in 5 years, I want to do this, and I do it, So that's just because of who I am. I'm not saying that it's right or wrong.
No, I'm asking hypothetically. You met a man who was a butler, paid well, and like this is it for him. Like this is his ceiling. He's happy where he's at. The money's content, and he wants to build a life with you. Being a butler, you would not date him if there was no transition to something else.
If there was no other goal in his life, like no, that's just because that's just I want someone aligned with who I am. And so I want to reach different goals in life until we can't reach anymore. So that should not to say that because he's a butler, it's because he doesn't have another goal beyond being a butler.
Hold on, I'm confused. What is the goal? Because like you keep saying a different goal or more bigger goals, and like what is the goal?
I don't think no one should be stagnant in life. I think that like you should always want to do other things. That's just my personal opinion, though.
Like other career paths.
Career paths. It could be anything. I went to school and got 2 graduate degrees. That didn't, I could have stayed where I was and was making good money, but then okay, what's next for me? But that's just me. It doesn't mean that it's right or wrong. I just believe in acquiring different goals. I believe in your life should be set up in acquiring different things. Like
Jamie is shark. I know her person. She's a shark. Sharks have to keep swimming or they'll die, because if they start, they'll sink. You know what I'm saying? She has to keep moving.
That's just me though.
Yeah.
It's nothing against anyone else. That's just how I align my life. So I would want someone else that also has multiple streams, or also can see themselves doing something else and not staying stagnant and just complacent with just being in one position in life. He could say he want to do YouTube. It be anything else other than just saying. And it's less about just being a butler. But a butler, to me, again, mentally, you have to be a certain place in your mind to be a butler.
So you don't want a guy with a career path. That's what you're saying.
No, but I don't know too many men that just want to just be in one career path. Like even like with real estate, there are other things you can do. Like he said, flipping houses. So
what if he wants to be a surgeon?
You say you just want to be a surgeon?
Or a lawyer?
Well, most surgeons are investors, right? They also invest their money. It's just other things that you can do instead of just doing one thing.
And they don't make that money to the latter of their years. The first 10 years, they ain't making nothing. Especially when they're first out in residency.
You have goals though, right? After your 10 years, what do you want to do within that? So what are we doing with our surgeon money? Like, are we
and if he was a butler for 10, 15 years, you don't think he was going to make more money as it goes on?
Not money. It's not about money. It's just about goals.
But you're saying what he does with his money. So he can still be a butler and do things with his money.
Exactly.
Like most men do when they in the latter years of their career paths. You're saying a guy has to have multiple streams of income and not a career path, because that's too boring.
If he's a butler and he wants to do other things with his money, I said that's okay. Not, you can't just want to be a butler and that's it. Like, you're fine. You don't want to invest your money. You don't want to do anything else. It's just that's all you want to do in life is to wake up and go to sleep.
Hey, look at all the butlers and the manservants out there. Don't try to get
anybody else smell it. Anybody else smell what I'm smelling?
Y'all.
I don't want to grill Jamie because I like to have women back on the panel.
Ladies,
you can't little
I smell it.
You can say what you want to say. You can't little mama me. So I am open.
I'm just saying the women be like, we're so domineering, and I'm not trying to scare the woman off, but I just trying to get I'm trying to understand the bigger picture here. What are you actually saying? You know,
the man servants can't get in your DMs, Jeremy.
I'm a D student.
A goal, without another goal in their life. That's
the goal is to be man servants.
So I'm just wondering how many goals
you can't offend me. You can
how many goals, you keep saying another goal. How many goals does a guy have to have in his life? Does it have to be can he just have his career goal and then maybe having children? Is that enough? Or does he have to have 7 other goals in life that he has to accomplish? How many goals is enough for you?
It's not about
that's what I'm just saying. I feel like this will tire a guy out hearing this.
It's a personality type, Sway, is what she's saying she's attracted to.
Okay.
99% of the human population is okay with getting up and going somewhere for 8 hours and coming home and that just being it. That's most people. Some people are not okay. I'm not okay with that. I could have comfortably stayed in the school system and let them continue to take my hairline and stress me out and just ride it out until I got
Jamie, do you have that guy already?
You said, do I have that guy?
Yeah.
No, it's not about what I have. It's about my life, though.
No, I'm just asking.
Yes, my life is like that.
No, I'm just wondering how easy it has been for you to find that type of dude.
Sway trying to get in the DMs, ain't
I have my girl right there in the bed. Don't put me in no deep end, bro. I'm just asking questions because it's when we ask for these type of dudes, that's
I want what I give, right? Dude. So that's what I'm saying. I have this to give.
Shut the hell up.
I see Courtney's joining.
I'm not trying to agree. I wasn't trying to go.
You want to chime in?
Look, Sway, you could be Jack Triple, baby.
Yeah, I wanted to.
See, there go my girl. What's going on, Courtney?
Hey, boo, how you doing?
I'm great.
Good to see you. Hey. Now I wanted to chime in because I'm hearing just cappity cap. So I wanted to chime in because I think some things are getting lost. So women prefer or want a man of status because a lot of us equate status with money. So when you're talking about the butler and, oh, it's the name of it, it's because the status is deemed low than someone that they're being a butler for. However, it doesn't equate to money. That's how when you have the Netflix thing, the swindler guy, he was able to swindle women because of a status, even though he was broke and using their the thought.
Hey, Corey, I think your
who he
internet
was.
freezing a little bit. So I don't
Is
want
that
to
better?
You probably gotta give it a little time to
You
get together.
P-raying it up now. You P-raying it up.
You know what? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So I don't know what was off, but I was saying that a lot of women equate status to money, and it is not. That's why you would have a woman say that I wouldn't date a butler because of the name, and it's not deemable as a good status as far as maybe the person who they are being a butler for. However, that's why we missed the mark. That's why we have people that can, the Netflix, the swindler can swindle women out of money because he had a status, or people thought he had a status which equated money, and it doesn't. I think we lose out on a lot, and we lose out on a lot of good men because we're looking at what he does, and he can say he's an executive, and we're looking at it like, oh, wow, it must mean he has that. But if he's a butler or if he cleans shoes, we're not understanding that man might not have any debt. That man might have other businesses, shoe cleaning businesses, car detailing businesses that revenues just as much or more. But because of the name of it, we deem him as, oh, well, he's not an NFL player. He's just shining shoes. But the average football player is in the league for 3 years. And once they come out of that, 70% is broke. But you would rather have an NFL player on your arm than someone that's cleaning shoes that had that business and last for 20, 30 years, that doesn't have any debt, that can take care of you way better than someone with a status that's probably going to go broke within the next 5. But we don't equate it to that. And I think it's ridiculous. And I think a lot of men think, well, when they hit a certain age, that's when they're willing to date the plumber. That's when they're willing to date the police officer. Well, I will push back on that. I think a lot of times it takes us being older and mature to understand that status don't mean shit. It's what you do consistently. It's what you do as far as being able to pay your bills, staying debt free, having a 401k, having those particular plans is what's most important because that's what's sustainable.
But you just made my point when I said like how you spoke about him having multiple businesses. He can't just
he might not have to though. Because I heard your point where you're saying, well, it depends. And it depends on his mind frame. And well, if he's doing this for 2 years, and then what are you going to do after the 2 years? And sometimes a man is telling you, this is my job. This is what I love to do. It might not be suitable as far as the title that you have, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm happy. However, if that man is saving up his money, if that man has invested in something that maybe you don't know about because he's not telling you all his business, y'all not married, or if he doesn't have anything to have his date ratio as far as debt to his income coming out, if that's fine, if that's is okay, then why does he need to prove that in 5 years he's going to do this, or 10 years I'm going to be this?
Making the same good
point. Have to prove it.
You just say if he invests his money, that's something else.
Well, let's say he doesn't. Let's just say this man is making $40K and he's happy at his job. And he has no plans on going anywhere else because he found something that he loves and he has a great healthcare plan. Then what?
Hey, man, I even said it. It might be a second job. He might be trying to supplement his income.
He doesn't.
You should be looking. You should look past the guy because of it.
But
I'm worried about all the butlers and the mail service trying to get in Jamie's DM. They don't have a goddamn chance.
No, it's just
that's not
what I'm saying.
My whole point wasn't about the money. It's just I was trying to acknowledge how.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. I want to hear Jamie.
More
Jamie
actual resources it brings in. That's my whole issue. I was trying to get her to.
I want to hear Jamie.
I wanted Jamie to answer the question.
That's all I was saying.
Hold on, if you
can
answer
that's why I initially asked Jamie the question, like if he was a butler, and that was it, because I don't know if any of you guys read The Alchemist, but everybody was born with a personal legend. Everybody was born with the story. And, you know, there could be something fulfilling to him to serve a family or to serve a man he respects, and he's completely happy and content with that. Just like he said, the shoe shine or the baker or the bus driver, getting people from A to B. If that is okay, that is what he loves to do. There is no end goal. There may not be investing. There may not be multiple business. This is his personal legend. This is his assignment from what he believes God or the universe or whatever he believes. And he is happy. He is content. He is bringing food, you know, stability, providing for you and the family. Would that not be enough if there's nothing else attached to it?
Only, again, because of the life I give. I'm not asking for this if I can't give it, right? So I'm not that typical woman who is saying this is what I want from a man. I am mirroring what I'm saying. So again, there's nothing wrong with that person. I, as your woman, just would want you to do more because I seek more in life. It has nothing to do with his overall financial status. It's that I want more out of life. So as your woman, I can't sit next to you and be okay with you just doing this one thing. That's just me, though. That has nothing to do. I don't downplay them. What I'm saying is, when I come into your life, I want you to elevate. I don't want you to stay on the same level. The next woman may lay down and say, hey, I'm happy. My bills I pay. I don't have that. That's cool for me. As for me and my household, I want to elevate. Let's do something else. What else can we do?
Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
So what is your role in his life? Particularly if you want to be married, I don't know. Do you want to be married?
Absolutely.
So what is your role in your husband's life?
To create a home for him again, and also again to elevate. Well, I can't say, because a man is a man. That's something I don't try to do. I don't try to make a man or try to change a man's outlook. But what I do offer is, what else can we do together as a family? So if I'm trying to make this house a home for you, we can't make it a home if you're only doing this, because what type of home are we going to have? That's all I'm saying. I'm not judging that person. I
only doing first. What?
But so my question, so my question is, because I've worked in corporate America. I'm doing my own business. My girlfriend's a senior VP in Goldman Sachs, and those type of men, all the things that you're talking about is not what they're looking for.
No, they're not. They don't want that. No, but then we're not talking about those type of men, though. We're not. Of course, they wouldn't want that.
But you're saying that you want to
elevate.
Yes, but we can't have it both ways.
Well, it depends on the man that we're dating, though. I don't have to elevate a man that's elevated. So that's what it is. That's the difference. We're not talking about the same though.
But exactly, you don't have to elevate a man who's elevated. So therefore, your role to him would be different than everything that you're spewing.
Absolutely.
So, but then you have to then.
Though right now.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but you would have to, because I hear a lot of times women who, Kai, I'm coming, baby. I hear a lot of times women that, and I'm sorry, my kid's upstairs, my husband's downstairs, he found me, and now he's looking for cookies, so I'm gonna try to be quick. But I'm gonna get your cookie, Kai. I'm gonna get your cookie.
I'm always looking for cookies too, Kai.
I hear you.
I feel it. Give me my cookies.
I'm looking for the Hot Pockets.
But
they're at Walmart.
They are at Walmart. But Jamie, the type of men that you're speaking of, and let me take a step back. Sometimes a lot of women have this idea that the qualities they want in a man, that the man wants in them, and that's just not true. For any type of man.
I agree with you, absolutely. I was asked for my opinion, I gave it, but I agree with you holistically. I do.
Yeah. So then as women, we have to decide, if you want that certain type of man, then there's certain things that you can't do if you're going to be under that certain type of man. And if you want to build with a man, then you have to let the man be a man. Because regardless of any situation, he's not gonna listen to all this elevate. He's not gonna hear none of that. He's gonna be like, I hear what you're saying. I'm gonna go to the next woman who's gonna give me what I need for me to be the husband to that wife.
Absolutely, I agree.
And so, I'm sorry, I'm about to go for a run, but I've been married for 12 years. my husband is a great man. You know, he's in the law enforcement field. And I had to learn from myself. Like, and I was by 33, I was a director, a corporate wellness director, moving up in my career, but I was miserable because I thought my value, my worth was associated to what I do instead of who I am as a wife and mother. And unfortunately, it took the death of my firstborn child for me to realize everything that I prioritized, that I was putting above my husband, that I was putting above, was completely out of whack. And after that experience in 2016, I was like, I will never do that again. I will never put my career, my boss woman, VP of this, woo, 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 above my family, because it's not worth it at the end. And so thank God in 2018, I had my second son. He's about to be 4 in May, driving me crazy. That's why I was running around trying to outchase him. My husband's downstairs resting. I'm about to go run. We're about to go to the park. Oh my God, and he's following. He's finding me. But I'm saying all this to say, baby, I'm gonna get you. I see you, Kai. I say all that to say that what we have been fed. Yes, Kai, and I'm about to go. What we have been fed as women, that like boss woman, we gotta elevate all this stuff. It's a whole bunch of lies so that we can buy. I'll come in a little bit, Kai. So that we can buy more stuff, so that we can be alone, so that we can be alienated from our men, and eventually be miserable and realize too late that that's not what we need to be doing. Okay, Kai. But I wish you all the success, Jamie and Courtney. I love what you said. Amber, I love what you said. What up to all the men? My son is running me, and that's who runs the show. And I'll just mute myself, be in the background. But I just Jamie, really, 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 the things that you're saying, the men that you want, do not want those things from the women. Just point blank, period. All right, y'all. I'll just mute myself and be in the background.
All right. Well,
I guess this is basically what she was saying, is to sum it up. You know what you want in a man, but what the hell does that man want in a woman? We got to ask that question. We all know what women want at this point. I think it's pretty substantial across the board. But what the hell do the men want from y'all at different levels? And you asking her for a goal getter and multiple streams of incomes. He does not want that out of his woman as well. I can promise you that. He needs someone to be there when he needs her and get on his program, not the opposite. So
I honestly think it's again, this is a great conversation, and I appreciate it being respectful, because it comes some understanding with having these conversations, and we may not look at everything correctly. I mean, nobody does, right? But one of the things that I struggle with, and I'm trying to understand, is how do we raise our daughters? Like, where's the balance at? Do we tell them to go seek a job? Do we tell them go seek a husband? How do we teach them now? Now that all this information is out, now that we understand men's nature, a woman's nature, how can we better parent?
Can I speak to that real quick? I'm sorry.
Sure.
I might not be able to come up because I'm still running from my child. But what I will say is
because hold on, because I do understand, and Jamie said it earlier. You know, she wants to have her own, and I'm pretty sure daughters are growing up and they want to have their own. And maybe there's a possibility that our parents were going through some things, and they like, I don't want you to go through this. Always make sure, because you don't want to have to depend on the man and so forth. Like, what is, and again, you may say something and it may not fit everybody's situation, but let's just have a conversation. Let's say some ideas out there, and then maybe it might resonate with one of us. Hopefully it can help somebody.
I think starting off, I'm sorry, my name is Coco, and Africa Pop Fitness is what I do. I'm about fitness because unfortunately women are extremely overweight and obese. And I'm here to have a fun way for you to get in shape. That's what my channel is about. But to your point about what we can do, and I also work in a college, and I speak to young women. And a lot of this attitude is, I don't need no man, independent. And what I tell them is that is incorrect. We need each other. This mentality that you can get further by yourself is absolutely wrong. We have to start telling our young women that, no, we need our brothers. We need each other. We are stronger together. We are not, you can get a job, but you need to also learn how to work with a man while getting a job. It can be done. Other races do it all the time. There's no reason why Black people in particular cannot come up the ladder, but there also are trade-offs and sacrifices that come with that. So yes, you can get the education. I mean, I have my graduate degree, I have my master's, you know, I went up the corporate ladder and I still got married through the process because that was a priority to me. That was serious to me because that's what I grew up with all my life. But now for the younger ones coming up, we have to espouse to them that, yes, you know, you can get your education, but that is not your first priority. Family and relationships are the first priority.
I agree. Come on, Afro pop fitness.
Shit, got a hold to it.
I think it's 75% of all mothers work. So it's kind of disingenuous to say you shouldn't or deserve not to work when majority of women work. So,
and we are
mothers,
work.
I mean.
Yeah.
Plus, the thing about looking down on the butler, man, I done got a lot of stock trades.
Stop looking down on the
butlers, man, these shoe shiners, because I got a lot of stock trades from these shoe shiners. When I worked downtown Louisville, man, they shined a lot of stock exchange guys some information, man. And guess what he did? He shared it with me. He knew I was doing grunt work. I'm leaving the school and teaching at a middle school downtown. But guess what? Just in talking and me down there having lunch and everything, he's sharing information with me. And guess what I did? I went and invested. We made money. So I have no problem. I got nothing but love for the shoe shiners. Right on to the butlers and the man servants.
Yeah. So I mean, basically what I'm hearing is that I guess it's like situational as far as what a young lady should do in that moment. But I do think that we need to just start talking to them. I mean, even as fathers, we can talk to our daughters and express certain things. I'm pretty sure there's a correct way to do it, because you don't want to totally as humans, I don't think we realize some of the things that we preaching it wrong. So we may be preaching it to the point where it's toxic and we don't even realize it, right? So I think we have to have conversations and understanding, and these conversations are important because when we do have those conversations with the young ladies and the young men, depending on what it is, then we can have like better conversations. We can have better outcomes. We can probably reach them in places. And I learned that because I just recently went to like therapy with my son, and I sat in one of the therapy sessions, and it was certain things that professional was able to do, was able to reach him. Even some of how he broke it down, it's like, damn, like I never even looked. I learned some things just sitting there. But if we are coming to the table and not willing to have conversations, not willing to listen, to over talking, then it's pretty hard for us to be able to grow as a whole. If you want to bring it down to a community, Black community, a community as a whole, however you want to look at it, it's kind of hard for us to grow if we don't listen. So moving forward, I want us to try to at least listen and to get an understanding. We don't have to be so stubborn, but I definitely appreciate the conversation, that we happening right now.
Yes,
I'm glad we just got some diversity on this panel instead of a bunch of dudes.
Pop up.
Yeah.
I love y'all.
Shout out to the Tenderfoots.
I do have one more question before we get up off of here real quick, and then I'll let y'all get on y'all way. Sage Talk is at 2 p.m. family, so make sure y'all tune in for that. I have been periodically putting that link in the chat, and I'll do it again shortly after this. But my last question is, should men seek to obtain a level of status? Should they seek to attain a level of status? I'm gonna answer this. I'm gonna say yeah. Sometimes things in life can be fun. There ain't nothing wrong with having certain things, a a card to be able to pull from, so to speak. I mean, who doesn't like a connection, right? You don't have to utilize it every time, but if you do have a level of status or something up in your trick bag and you can use it for the better of good, right? Then why not have it? I think it is a asset to life because all life is it's a game, man. It's a game, and once you figure out these formulas, you'll be able to navigate through life so much easier. And a certain level of status can put you in places. Certain type of women can put you in certain places. I mean, if you didn't make the right decision and you like, damn, you got to live with it. You got to create a different formula. So I think we have to really slow things down, put things into our own perspectives. Our lives are not going to be like everybody else's, but figure out the formula to life, how money works, how prayer works, how listening works. And that's something that we don't do. Because there is some power behind listening because you can learn. You can learn. And I definitely, who listens more than me? I don't say much, right? I just sit back and all the time just listening. But I'm paying attention and I learned something from each and every last one of y'all. That's why I appreciate y'all. But should a man obtain a level of status? What do you guys think?
I mean, it's all right. It's not necessary. I think status, when we ask about status and power, there's a difference. I think status in itself is kind of like an imaginary power. It's based off of public opinions, it's based off of emotions. It can come and go, it's fleeting. One day you might have status, the next day, a couple years you might not. People forgot about you. I think more so you should be prioritizing seeking power. If you want to go to a club and you get it for free because you're Drake, or you can go to the club and you're a part owner of it, and you can tell the bouncer to move out the way. It's like, what do you really want? Like I said, if you want status, that's fine, but it's really kind of imaginary. It's based on how people feel about you.
I see you having that P. Ray internet sway, but I did want to expand on it because
I pass it on.
yeah, because
Don't take that sway. Go, you got that, brother.
like I look at everything the same, right? I mean, power is subjective, right? We don't really know what's like really, really power. I mean, we've seen some powerful things. We could compare some things like, oh yeah, that's so much more powerful, right? But um, even if you seek power, you still seeking a level of status. I mean, even if you was to do some things within like your own very community and it's impactful, it's going to come along with a status. So I don't think that you could say I don't want status. It's just going to come along with whatever else that you're doing. So when I say status is important, it's all falls in the same bubble. Whether you power, whether you got millions, whether you're a celebrity, you a big YouTuber, however you want to look at it, status is going to follow it. It could be good status, it can be bad status.
And Lapeef, to answer your question, I think more than status, self-actualization. You know how there's Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and then a lot of times, I'm looking through it. You have your physical needs, and then your psychological needs, your safety needs, your love and belonging, esteem, and then self-actualization is the last after all of those other needs are met. So, I mean, I believe, like Sway said, not everyone's going to achieve status and not everyone will have the ability to. And that's not how the world is set up. But everyone does have hopefully, and most people don't reach it, but if all those other levels of needs are met, I think self-actualization, the desire to be your best self, your most fullest self, is a desire. And I know you're speaking specifically to the men, but that hopefully everyone should want to achieve if they get into the consciousness of that even being a level for them to attain. And I think a lot of people are not even aware of it because a lot of people are just scraping by, or if they're not scraping by, they're content with just, being by. But if you're not growing, you're dying. So self-actualization, I think, is what everyone ultimately should try to desire to be.
Yeah.
I know as a man that my status is important to me with the kids that I try to, other Black boys that I talk to, that I have conversations with, that I interact. Any other status, I don't give a shit about, man. I'm 46 years old. I'm not pressing no more like that.
I
In my
don't care.
20s, yes, right on. In my 20s, I did. 46 now, man. I'm trying to reach these black boys, and I want to see these dudes be the best that they can be. Whatever version they're gonna be, I want them to see them to be the best. So my only status is to see them be successful. As long as I got a status with them, knowing that Ink's gonna be in here, I know he's gonna have a good conversation. He's gonna tell me the truth. He's gonna be honest with me. He's gonna be upfront with me. He's gonna tell me when my shit stinks, and he gonna tell me when I'm doing right. That's the only status I care about is with them boys.
So for me, I think it's important how you deploy that status more than
Pass
anything
it
else,
on
and
to
why
everybody,
you want it. Perfect example of this, I got a close friend who just joined a social club here in downtown Chicago, well-known social club down here in Chicago. And he was like, "Man, you got to get down with this." And my first reaction to it, I don't want to do it, and like because I'm not a status seeker. I don't even like, like I tend to shy away from a lot of I'm an introvert on some levels, and I tend to shy away from stuff like that. But my girlfriend, being the wise person that she is, said, "Well, why don't you go do it anyway? There might be some investor there." And I said, "Oh." So it depends on, how you want to apply it. It's like people who sell dope. When you see out here selling dope, they selling dope. Are you selling dope to be the man on the corner? Or are you selling dope to get your mom up out the hood? That's what we need to be focused on status, is how you apply it. We should be seeking it. We should, we should be deploying it and utilizing it in ways that help us. It's useless if you're using it to wave it like a flag, but if you're using it like a sword to forge ahead into things that you need to do, seek all the status that you can get.
Shout out to the L7s and 100 black men.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Amber, you want to go ahead and close us out?
Courtney is sick. Courtney is so sick, bro. Did we let Courtney speak, or we just gonna keep going on?
No.
Oh, we didn't. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Courtney.
Me right over.
I didn't know, man. It's
you did.
too early. It's too early. No, go ahead.
Listen, Courtney is the OG, so I will go and let her close it out. We good, Courtney? We good?
She might start P-rating. Hey, you be on standby. She might start P-rating.
Right. That's what I've been doing. Every time someone don't let me talk on that P-word service right at your ass.
Have I benefited from having quote unquote a certain status? Absolutely. So it will be hypocritical for me to tell somebody not to seek it. I have been blessed to be under the mentorship of what you may consider powerful men. And the common denominator I found is that they are silent and put the work in. The work, with good work, consistent work, and good integrity, created their status of where they're at now, which is then equates to power. So if you want status, i.e. power, put the work in and have good integrity and a good reputation, which then will get the status I guess you seek.
Oh, well, I really didn't have to go after that.
You gotta go now. You just gave us a hard time. You gotta go. Go ahead.
I agree. I don't think there's a problem with wanting to have status. And if that's something that you're choosing to have, if you want your name being known as, and I have a reputation of being this, I have a high status of doing this, just as long as it's verifiable. So a lot of people put these statuses or try to fake it, and it's not verified. So, and verifiable meaning that it's legit. And people also can verify, yeah, Hank, you do great at coaching. You are top tier because these particular students have learned so much and have gotten in college because of what you taught. So I'm all about verifiable status. But there's no reason, if you want that, if you want a level of prestige, there's nothing wrong with that. I think a lot of us want that. A lot of people want to be known as, or if you're doing something, do your best at it. If I have a job, I want to be the best at it. I want to be able to go up these tiers of success. So there is nothing wrong with that. It's just everyone doesn't have those ambitious thoughts and ideas. If you do it with integrity, do it at your best, but everyone doesn't have it. And I guess my thought and my thinking is just because you don't have the ambitions to have this status, it doesn't make you less than. You're just not ambitious in that way. And it might be in something else's way, but it doesn't, anything of you as a person, it doesn't make you less than.
All right. It's a great conversation, family. I really enjoyed it. Before we get off of here, I do want to highlight a few things. Again, Sage Talk with Lee is happening at 2 p.m. That's in about another hour. Now my watch told me it's time for me to stand up. But yeah, he's going live at 2 p.m. This is the topic right here. Should women set the rules in the manosphere? Should women set the rules in the manosphere? So make sure you guys definitely tune in for that. Also, we are going to be live in Houston, April 23rd. That link is pinned to the top of the chat. Become a part of history. It's going to be dope. I am making sure that the experience is like no other. I want everybody that attends or gets the opportunity to attend, because it is a capacity limit, that they leave there with Lapeef all in their mouth. Pause.
Wait a minute.
Also go to the website right there and get your Lapeef hoodies, man. We still got a few more left. So go ahead. If I don't have your size, I forgot about you, brother. I forgot about you. I'm gonna make sure the next batch it's gonna be dope, man. I'm actually starting to work on that tomorrow, and then we'll definitely have the bigger sizes, for the football players,
right? For the big countrymen.
Yeah, there you
for
go.
The grown men.
Home fed bread.
Right on.
And also, lastly, shout out to the sponsor, Teach Hanley. And I know I keep raving about the Teach. And I'm not gonna lie, like I wasn't using it as much in the beginning, but I'm about a man of just giving things the opportunity, right? To adopt something new and see if it works. And if it works, then you stick with it, right? It has been doing some amazing wonders, man. I'm talking about if you got oily skin, oily forehead, because I got a little big forehead. So if you got an oily forehead and an oily nose, that Teach is gonna work some wonders on you. I'm here to tell you, brother. I'm here to tell you. So make sure you guys go ahead and click that Teach Hanley and get your skincare. Summer's right around the corner, and we're gonna be at them all white parties. And I'm not sure about. Let me ask you guys this: how you feel about cruises? I've never been on a cruise, and I don't want to, especially now. I can deal without a cruise.
I'm good.
I love the post-pandemic world. I'm good.
No.
Hey, I like them. As long as you got a lot of excursions to go on, like a couple stops, you good.
I don't like being.
I recommend a 7-day.
Yeah.
For your first one, I
Never
recommend
been.
maybe a 5 or 3 day cruise.
Man, I don't know about them crew. I just don't like being stuck in one place. And they say you don't even realize you're there. But sometimes you don't want to be stuck with the same people.
Do you understand? It's huge. You don't. Man, I played go-karts on a cruise.
On a cruise?
Shows.
Yeah.
Yes, We
They
have
got
go-karts. It's a whole city.
Comedy shows, concerts.
Comedy shows. Yes, it's a whole city. Oh, I love a cruise now. I can
if they make
talk about that all day.
Yes,
if they make a couple stops, you're gonna get the stops in certain countries.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I think the last cruise I went to was for Cozumel, and we stopped in Mexico.
Mm-hmm. So
that's a kilo.
Medium.
I'm a large G.
Oh, large. Okay. I don't know,
I'm
man.
6'1". I'm taller than you.
That's fine. You could be taller than me. All I'm saying is that we're gonna see everybody in Houston, so we can really see.
Flexing now. You flexing, flex.
Yeah, so we can really.
I might have grown a little bit. I might be 6'2". I don't know. I haven't measured myself.
Okay.
Hey man, shout out to all the hot pockets out there, baby.
Listen, can y'all thank me for bringing hot pockets to the show? Give me
them guys.
There was one show we heard something a little different that was hot.
Hey, it started with a P2, didn't it, Hank?
Yeah.
And I think I might have to drop some of those cooling panties, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got some ice pockets or something like that. can put that on my board right there. Yeah, put that on the list. Yeah.
Them garlic berries or something. I don't know what's going on.
All right, y'all. Well, I don't want to hold y'all long too much longer, man. Y'all been phenomenal. Thank you guys for
It's all good. It's
doing
all
what y'all
good.
do best. Thanks,
Been a
Miss Fitness.
pleasure.
I'd love to have you back on in some form of capacity. I did go to your YouTube page and I had to verify you was a real person.
Who, me?
Miss Fitness.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm joining your fitness. I'm joining your fitness. Whatever you're doing, Coco. I'm joining. I'm about to subscribe right now.
Thank you. I mean, it's spring. Well, it's technically still winter, but we're entering the spring. I've lost about 40 pounds so far since having my son. So yes, thank you. If you need tips, inspiration, all that good stuff, I'm going to be uploading more content, especially in the spring and summer. But thank you. Yes, I am a real page. I am a real person. I share my story, but it's been a pleasure, and hopefully, Lapeef, I'll be able to come back on and just share my perspective. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, daughter, sister, friend, married for 12 years, and there's just so many things that I think our people, especially young Black women, are not being told about. We just hear the sensationalism and we run with that, but there's nuance and realness in between.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm also looking for somebody that does yoga. We might have to bring a yoga instructor down to do some yoga before the live stream.
Oh, and then also you come into my hometown, H-Town. I'm from Houston. I live in Dallas now, but Houston.
I'm doing that.
Yeah.
No, we got to do some yoga, man. We got to meditate.
What?
You know,
some hot yoga. You gonna bring the goats in?
No, I know.
Oh, nothing about that.
That man is lying.
No, like I think we do need some yoga like before the show. You know, the whole thing is on Friday night. I don't want nobody doing that. I want people just chilling, relaxing, because we're gonna have a big day.
Holy water before the show.
Okay, well, we're definitely gonna say the prayer.
In the name of Jesus before the water.
Yeah, we definitely gonna say the prayer.
You gonna perform an exorcist, Courtney, before the show?
Act like I'm not bringing my crucifix.
You got to get the Catholic brothers in there to do some things.
Like I'm gonna have to get some little bitty I'm gonna get like some little mini crosses and a big Ziploc bag so we can throw them out in the audience.
There you go.
You need a healer. You need a healer.
Oh, you heathens.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, family though, man. It's been great. Definitely appreciate y'all again tuning in to Sage Talk at 2 p.m. That's happening within the next hour. Thank you, panel. Sway, man, I like what you're doing, brother. I'm so proud of you, man. You are very intelligent. You never seem to amaze me, man. So I do want to make sure I salute you right here and right then. I love your growth. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I'm able to see a brother like you, man. So thank you.
I appreciate you giving me the opportunity, man. I'm glad I was able to make the most out of this opportunity for you.
Oh, yeah, man. We're going to make you family, man. Family. We're going to have to talk about some things.
Appreciate it.
All right.
I'll be on a little bit.
Okay.
Peace, y'all.
Hit the like button. Thanks, Fitness. Appreciate you. Hit the like button on your way out, man. We out, man. Another great show. Lapeef Network. Do me a favor, family. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Got that Sage Talk at 2 p.m. Central Time. Should women set the rules in the manosphere? Make sure y'all tap in for that, y'all. Let's go. Get your tickets. Click that link in the description. It's also pinned to the top of the chat. Shout out to the sponsor, Team Channel. Uncomplicated skincare for men. Let's go. Last song, let's go, y'all. I just put that link for Sage Talk with Lee at 2 p.m. Click that link and set the reminder, y'all. It's going to be a great show, y'all. Tune in, 2 p.m., Sage Talk. Great show. Just tuning in. Catch it on the replay. Hit that like button. PM Sage Talk. Should women set the rules in the manosphere? Head over there, tap in, y'all. Appreciate the support. Love y'all. Thank you. Green Gang, I see you. Shout out to the mods for holding it down. Let's go. Hit that like button. Hit that like button.